Oh my God, I am so unprepared on this thing. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cinema Savvy. There we go. Apologies for the lateness start of this. Technical issues with the film. Chatting about the film. Maybe we didn't even want to do this stream today. Maybe we didn't even want to suffer through this film. But we are here nonetheless. Can you think of a better way than spend your Wednesday night than watching Joss Whedon's Justice League? This is the 2017 version of Justice League. I do want to make that very clear from the off. Because I don't want angry thumbs down, not from disliking this film, but for the fact that people thinking that we're going to be doing a watch along of the Zack Snyder cut of this film. That will be coming tomorrow. That will be, I think, tomorrow morning. It depends when I can get a hold of the film. That will be Zack Snyder's Justice League watch along. First time watch along tomorrow. But we're not here for this one. We're for the one that we got, the theatrical cut that came out in 2017. Partially directed by Zack Snyder, partially directed by Joss Whedon. Who knows what this thing is? It's an absolute Frankenstein's monster. But thankfully, I'm not on my own for this one. We have some people watching, and thankfully, JX, you have agreed to jump on with me tonight. Thank you very much for that. So
I don't know why I did agree.
I know. I don't know why I'm doing this. This was my idea. I've got no one to blame but myself right now. So as you can tell, we probably don't like this film, but we're going to watch it nonetheless. So
I don't hate it.
As we
the
go,
edits are usually pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. So
happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone.
Yes, it is St. Patrick's Day. I don't have alcohol. Someone's got to try and steer the ship in till the end. So I'm going to be on water. So that's shame on me. I'm going to be the sober one throughout this entire thing. But
I wish I had a napkin.
We encourage you to grab your copies of Justice League if you even bought this film. I feel sorry for you if you did. But if you've got a copy of Justice League, get it to 0, get it paused, because we're about to start this film in just a second. Before we do, though, we want to hear your thoughts on this version of Justice League. Are you excited for the Snyder Cut? We're kind of doing this just as a sake of comparison before going into the new one to see what's the same, what's new, what was altered, and just things like that, really. So please do comment along as we do this thing. And of course, let's go for the blast of the socials. So for us, Cinema Savvy, you can find us on Facebook at Cinema Savvy, Twitter at cinema_savvy. We're on Letterboxd at letterboxd.com/cinemasavvy. And also, if you'd like to pick up any merch, we've got the TeePublic link in the description down below. There's also a chance to win a £15 Rakuten voucher. Get your Oscar predictions into us. All details are in the description down below for that thing right there. And before we get started, Jex, where can people find you?
Oh, hello. I am JXEditor. You can find me on YouTube at JXEditor, youtube.com/JXEditor. What am I doing with my neck?
I don't know. You're doing a thing.
Anyway, I'm a fan editor. I take movies and I re-edit them for one reason or another. I've done things like tried to make new stories from a number of other sources, from trying to create something from scratch. I've made combinations of movies such as the Star Wars prequels or the original trilogy or the Hobbit movies. And sometimes I just like to trim the fat.
Absolutely. So please give him a follow, get that sub count up for him. Okay, with all that being said, I think we're about to jump into this thing. So as I said, get your copy at 0 when I get the go-ahead from JX. So you got yours all set up too?
I got this half of this. Well, actually, wait, it's flipped. So technically I've got this half as the stream and this half as...
Awesome. Right. Okay. So we'll count down from 3. We'll go 3, 2, 1, go. So on 3, 2, 1, go. Here we begin. I have snacks, ladies and gentlemen, so I apologize for any crunching that's about to take place.
You bastard.
Here we go.
Just have beer.
Just have beer. Just have beer. That's all you need. So did you see this movie in the theaters when it came out?
No.
I don't know if a lot of people did. I know that it didn't make the money that I think they were intending. I'm going to try not to compare to Marvel too much throughout this thing, but for obvious reasons. Oh, look at this intro. I remember actually really loving this intro here. They're kind of trying to do a Marvel... I guess they are doing a Marvel thing. Look at that. Look at all those characters they'll probably never get to in the DCEU.
Is it still called that?
I know it was at the beginning. Oh, God, it opens like this. I forgot.
Oh, my God.
Oh, there it is. Jesus.
It
hasn't got better. So awkward. They're trying to do a Spider-Man Homecoming thing here, right?
Yeah, of course.
This is like one of the most reactionary films ever. It's just what's been popular, what works. Spider-Man was a hit.
Hang on, wait.
Avengers
the
was
most
great.
reactionary film ever? I see
Suicide
this and I
Squad.
raise you The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Oh, is this like... It goes into like an acoustic song now, right? Like a...
Everybody knows. Yeah. It hasn't yet. Don't use that to sync mine. I just remember.
So we will be offering timestamps throughout. So currently almost coming up to 2 minutes. 1:58, 1:59, 2 minutes.
I'm 1 second behind you, but that... No, wait. Which would put me 2 seconds behind you because there's probably a 1 second delay with the streaming service.
Fine.
Yeah, who cares?
Oh, wait. Does the music intro follow this?
Oh, I guess it doesn't. Oh, right, because it's after the fucking criminal guy's like, it's because he's dead. And I'm like, weren't you on a different rooftop?
Doesn't this feel so much like a TV show? Like this set,
it doesn't feel like a trailer. It feels like a commercial.
It feels like a sound. Well, look at this thing.
Like it's shot like one of those high end commercials. That's like all the elves and the fucking the elves and the dwarves are fighting to advertise for New Zealand Airways or something, or Air New Zealand or whatever it's called. And it's just like it looks great, but it's so flat.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's the way that it's covered. I do actually, from like the small amounts you can see of it, I do like the look of Gotham. It's very much like the Arkham games, very Arkham City, Arkham Knight. You've got the neon in the background and the smog and the smoke. I would have loved to have seen it, because I know that like Affleck was going to do his solo Batman trilogy, I think, at that point. I would have loved to have seen his Batman in this Gotham, in this look of Gotham. Oh, wow, you were right into it with the parademons, aren't we? We're not wasting any time with this film. Straight into it.
No, I would have started with this scene.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I've had an idea. I had an idea for a Justice League edit a while ago that would have combined Batman and Superman, Batman versus Superman, and Justice League. And it would have taken after the And I think this was going to be the first scene.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to...
Go on, sorry.
No, it's just naming-wise. It was going to take after the animated films. And it was going to be called Justice League Dawn, after Dawn of Justice and Justice League. Oh, wait.
Oh, doesn't he evaporate? He leaves like a residue, and it's the symbol. Yeah, this is so stupid.
Oh, wait. He doesn't say For Dark Side. I've seen so many goddamn edits where he says For Dark Side.
It's just shot so awkwardly, isn't it? It's just so... It's either like just like the awkward side on, or...
How did he get here? This is a different roof.
We've got a comment from The Life of Brian. I'm going to be bringing comments up as we go through this thing. The characters just don't blend into the background. Yeah, it's just...
But probably the best edit of this movie, if you want to watch that instead of this. Of course, you can't follow along. Justice League Immortal by SDN Editions is great. It imperfect but limited by its footage.
Or just watch Zack Snyder's 4-hour cut, I guess.
Yeah, but this one's only 3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, also that's coming out tomorrow, so you could watch that too. Honestly, all I'm saying is, besides the Victor Stone stuff, the Snyder Cut trailers have looked like just improved trailers for SDN's edit, which is impressive.
So I remember actually not minding this intro. This feels very Zack Snyder, and I don't know if Snyder directed this scene or if it was done to emulate that, but I think they captured his style pretty well. It's very much that... I think he actually started his career in music videos, if I remember rightly. I might be getting confused with Michael Bay, but it's the way that it's framed, the way that it's paced to the music, not the subtitles, but the cast list coming up, the credits. very Batman versus Superman. So I don't know if it was done to emulate that and it wasn't done by him, or if when we watch the Snyder Cut tomorrow, we'll see something akin to this at the intro.
Maybe even the same song. They already had the right, you know? It's a good song. But it's very akin to like the beginning of Watchmen.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
What?
Did we? I forgot with the Batman thing at the start. Did we miss the 1989 Batman theme played, or does that come later?
I don't remember.
I think that comes later. I think there's a scene where Batman jumps down in front of Commissioner Gordon.
Yes,
we'll discuss the music when we get to that. But see, you've got like the slow-mo stuff right here. You know, very Zack Snyder.
I guess these guys are racist because he's a skinhead.
Yeah.
His friend should have been a skinhead too to help get that across, I gotta say.
See, what's going to be really funny, though, come tomorrow is... So we're watching this now. Let's say this intro is used in...
Hold up. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I just want to play... There's got to be one shot that's inserted by Joss Whedon, and it's that one.
Probably. I mean, it is a very pretentious intro, though, isn't it? It does feel very Zack Snyder with it, but what's going to be interesting is everyone trashed this movie, even fans of Justice League at the time trashed this movie, just like these characters, this film series. What's going to be interesting is come tomorrow when this thing gets released, if there are scenes taken from this and put in the new one, suddenly everyone's going to champion those scenes and, oh, they're amazing, they're incredible. But when Joss Whedon did it in this, oh no, terrible, absolutely awful.
I will say there, from what I hear, somewhere between 10 and 25% of this is the Snyder cut. According to Snyder, who hasn't even seen it, it's 25. According to the DOP, it's 10.
I know that they have to meet a certain quota to get sole directing credit. I actually didn't see that whether Joss Whedon did get sole credit or whether it was joint credit. I just missed that. Right now, we've got Roose Bolton from Game of Thrones holding up a bank.
Oh, for those of you who don't know, DOP is director of photography.
I think they got it.
Do you honestly think 100% of the people who watch this will know that?
If they're watching a Justice League thing at a Wednesday night, then probably. We've got the reprise of the music there. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
See, Danny Elfman can reprise themes in a good way. Not when he's reprising the 89 theme or the John Williams Superman theme, though. Again, though, doesn't this feel so TV show? Like, it just feels really... This whole bank robbery scene just feels really cheap.
I don't know. Game of Thrones has blurred the line between TV show. Well, Game of Thrones, The Sopranos, Mad Men, and Breaking Bad have blurred the line between movie and TV.
I guess what I mean is it just doesn't feel cinematic. When I'm watching this, like the way it's framed, the way it's covered and shot, and
it's very much just
feels very hammy.
Yeah, it's very much just put what you want in front of the screen or in front of the camera and tell the story. It's not like telling the story with any dynamic camera angles or, you know, cutting to like well, I mean, I'm not going to say it doesn't cut to like a proper reaction shot in certain cases. It does. I can't name any off the top of my head, but it's a 2-hour movie. I'm going to assume it does. It's, you know, it's like throwing a bunch of darts at a target. It's something's going to hit.
We have a comment from Dave again who says that it's Snyder who's credited as the director at the start of this film. I wasn't sure. Did you see Wonder Woman 1984? I
haven't yet, no.
So that film, way more than the first one, felt incredibly like hammy and tongue-in-cheek and kind of not whimsical, but felt more like one of those old style films, not in a good way to like, you know, the original Superman film, that kind of wacky hijinks kind of thing. This feels a lot like this, and this came out before Wonder Woman 1984, so I guess this now feels in keeping with the tone of Wonder Woman, but I remember at the time this just felt very, I don't know, it felt very kid-like. I don't know. It didn't really seem to match the tone as to what Zack Snyder was doing with the Justice League at this point. But obviously I know that whole bit there, I think, was a complete reshoot with with Whedon. We've now got to Bruce Wayne. Is he? I think it's in Iceland, isn't it? This stuff. I think thing in the minute that says it's in Iceland.
It very well could be. I know that scene. I know that. I don't know how much of that scene was reshot. I do know that in the trailers you see that bank blowing up, and a number of people have incorporated that in their edit. I know one of. Excuse me. In the Black Suit edition, which isn't out yet. Fucking hey, I'm sorry. A little bit of advice from an experienced drinker: if you drink directly from the can, you're drinking a lot of carbon dioxide, which forms bubbles in your stomach and either makes you burpy or gives you the hiccups. Anyway, what was I saying?
I don't know what you were saying.
No, in the Black Suit edition, that scene, it is much more trimmed down. She doesn't throw the briefcase up. Instead, when he says, "I don't believe it," she saves all the citizens, and then when he says, "I don't believe it," she does this right when the bomb goes off, and then it plays the shot when she first shows up in Batman v Superman.
Right.
And she defends from Doomsday's thing, and with the thing, suddenly, wow, he just put on and lost like 40 pounds.
Yeah, it's the beard. I was going to bring that up, that I think for this scene in particular, people can sort of see there you go. See, he looks completely different there. It's the beard length and what shape he's in. I guess this is, in terms of sort of like a film that's absolutely massacred with reshoots and noticeable reshoots in terms of appearances of characters. I don't know if you saw the awful Fant Four Stick film, the reboot of Fantastic Four from like a bunch of years ago now. Was it like 2016?
I saw it a mile away, and I saved the wait. Yeah, real quick, I forget what's the swearing policy on this channel.
Oh, swear a fucking way.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I knew at the beginning I wasn't going to touch that movie with a 20-foot fucking pole.
It's fine.
I threw in fucking because I couldn't remember what I was going to say the first time.
It's fine. I clicked the monetization. It says, "Is this for children?" I put no, so we're fine. We're home free. It's all good.
Am I going to get any of that monetization?
I mean, if we make the money, we've got 3 people watching now. Hopefully, more people join in. Although I don't know how they could join in midway through a watch along, but at least join in the conversation. We are at 14 minutes right now, and we have a shirtless Jason Momoa in the water.
Ooh, so I've moved the movie and the window and the stream window. So now when I'm looking at the window and talking to you, it does look like I'm talking to you.
Cool. There was something I was going to mention about the. Oh yeah, going back to the bank robbery thing where you said it was in the original trailer. So Snyder might be doing something with that. I don't know specifics. I've only heard this on a review, so I don't know how true this is. There is a scene in the film where Wonder Woman kills a guy in a very brutal way in front of a group of school children and then turns to them and says, "You can be whatever you want to be." I mean, it fits right in with Batman being a murderer, Superman basically causing 9/11, again, on like an even bigger scale. Who else kills people? Does anyone else kill people? Apparently Wonder Woman kills people now. I don't know. I can't comment. I haven't seen that yet, but...
Does Aquaman? I actually haven't seen Aquaman. I got all the DC movies on a deal, like a digital download deal, or it wasn't a download. It was like a stream it on this app for money deal, and they were like all bundled in a package.
What did you think to Jeremy Irons' Alfred?
Yeah, no, I approve. I think it could have been used much better.
I don't feel like I've seen enough of him as Alfred to really comment. You know what I mean? He's not as active in the plot as you get. Maybe because you have sort of, you've had the 4 Batman films that came out, Batman 89 through to Batman and Robin, where you had Michael Gough So you had that consistent Alfred. You had Michael Caine over the course of a trilogy, and we've had Jeremy Irons in 2 films, but because it's not completely Batman centric, you kind of get drips and drabs here and there. So
yeah, exactly. He probably would have had a role in the Ben Affleck's Batman movie,
yeah,
The Size of a Tangerine. I'll be here.
SeaWorld Man knows what's up. SeaWorld Man, are you in any way affiliated with Aquaman? It's a very similar name. Chris hated Aquaman, and yeah, don't forget those caps on hated. It was an absolutely abysmal film, and I was kind of gutted because I really like the director as well. You know, for the life of me, I can't remember the name of the director now. I'm going to quickly bring that up. I know he directs a lot of... he did Fast and Furious 7. He does a lot of horror films. James Wan. Great director. Awful film. Awful film.
Again, this part is just a Joss Whedon joke that I think it could have been fine if it just wasn't too long. Am I still here?
Yeah, you're still here, but we have someone else. Who is this mysterious person? I know that background, but I don't know how Ant-Man has suddenly ended up on the stream.
I thought we're doing an Infinity War watch-along.
I was going to play like the Marvel intro and everything at the beginning, just to rub salt in the wound.
Well,
no.
Unfortunately, I will not be watching Justice League. However...
What do you mean, unfortunately?
Infinity Saga retrospective every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday for more Aquaman. See you on the next one.
Well, that's the best cameo I could ever hope to have. That was amazing.
Did he say Monday?
He's wearing a mask, you know. It's fun. So yeah, I'm gonna reiterate what Ant-Man just said. Infinity War retrospective every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Oh god, that was amazing. Oh yeah, I forgot that. Oh god, what's his name? Is it Billy Crudup? Is that his name?
I don't know.
He played Dr. Manhattan. Did the voice for him. He was the guy playing Barry Allen's dad.
He's probably a friend with Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
So we're at Cyborg, coming up to almost 19 minutes in now. So I think Zack Snyder intended Cyborg to kind of be the main character, if not the main character, at least the main emotional heart of the film. So I know there's a lot of stuff that's going to be added in tomorrow's one. The football game was probably the big one that I remember people sort of kicking off about. That it was in the trailer. You see that American football game with him, and it's not in this movie. So
AKA real football, where we barely touch it with our feet.
Would it be great if they did like a crossover with Dark Knight Rises and he's halfway across that pitch and then Bane just blows it all up?
Actually, so there's an edit called Justice League Legion where it combines all the DCEU movies as well as a number of other DC movies, as well as a number of movies just not in DC.
Mm-hmm.
And we see like some we see like some Victor Stone stuff, Cyborg stuff, and then it cuts to Bane at the football game, and I'm like, wait a second. Is he trying to make it so that's how that happened?
Probably, yeah.
And then I actually messaged him, and he was like, no. I was like, you shouldn't have had those scenes next to each other
then. Dave, The Life of Brian, says, I think Cyborg will be some of the biggest changes we get in this cut. Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully they've touched up the CGI a little bit as well, because it is not great.
Yeah, according to the actor, I don't think any of his scenes in this are from the Snyder cut.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, like, I know I rag on the DC films quite a lot. I'm very vocal about the ones I do like. I always keep saying this, like, I love Shazam. I love the first Wonder Woman film. I'm drawing a blank. Has there been one recently? I don't know, but I guess Joker, but that's not technically part of the DC EU, is it? Like when DC do it right, they can do it right. And I want the Zack Snyder cut of this film to be good. I want to watch all those 4 hours and 2 minutes tomorrow morning, and enjoy every single second of it. So here's hoping. But yeah, I definitely think that this character in particular, because I couldn't tell you anything about Cyborg after watching this cut of the film, at least.
His name is Victor.
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we get like an additional 5-minute scene with Jared Leto's Joker. Do you think
great.
he's gonna go ah?
He's got no visible tattoos in the trailer.
But we didn't see his hand.
Well, damaged is gone, thank God. But
it must have been damaged.
Oh, this is the Themyscira
I'm
stuff,
sorry.
isn't it? Oh God, that CGI is not good.
No.
Oh. Oof. Anyway, we've got a comment from SeaWorld Man. I adore Aquaman, but everyone has their own views. So if you dislike me for that, that's fine. Oh, if you dislike me for that, that's fine. Just a film after all. Yeah. I'm not hating on anyone that likes Aquaman.
I haven't seen Aquaman yet.
Hang on. Wow, we have Iron Man. This is like the Prestige. This is like come to the
Quick reminder for you all at home. I'm not watching the Justice League. I'm here to advertise more Marvel shows coming to our channel. Falcon the Winter Soldier Episode 1, spoiler free, starts tomorrow. Spoiler discussions this Friday night. Infinity Retrospective starter every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. I actually don't fit in this helmet, so I'm going to leave you with goodbye.
You're welcome for muting that through that sneeze.
It is literally like that scene from The Prestige where Christian Bale shows up. And he's like, come to my theater across the road, the Pantages. Oh, there he is. Steppenwolf. Okay. Let's talk Steppenwolf. And from
which model do you like more?
Exactly. I was going to ask. So I'm going to be quite controversial. Now, I haven't seen, obviously, the Snyder Cut, so I don't know how it plays out in the context of the actual film other than what I've seen in the trailers. I kind of prefer this design. And I'm going to tell you why. I think this one is closer, not identical, nowhere near identical, but closer to the comic book counterpart. And it's not as busy. I don't like all that kind of living armor. And the CGI doesn't look great. The textures don't look finished on it even still. The CGI isn't great on this, but I don't blame the effects team for that. They were clearly down to the wire with this thing. Ideas were probably constantly changing. Maybe they didn't even have a solid design down for Steppenwolf. Maybe that was a part of contention, and that's why it doesn't look great. But yeah,
well, they definitely had a design down because he was in Batman v Superman.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, you see him on like the little hologram thing at the end, don't you? Yeah.
What was I going to say? The Devil. No. Oh yeah. Well, so yeah, I see what you're saying about this version looking more like the comic book counterpart, and I imagine that's why they went with it.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm going to point out one thing that I think makes me prefer the Snyder one. The Snyder one looks more like, or like more in the style of Cyborg.
But
they're both created by the mother, or they're both using technology created by the mother box, or akin to the mother box.
I loved all the... Oh god, the CGI isn't great, is it? Bless them. They tried. You know, I'm not going to rag on them, but...
Thank you.
But I loved like all the Wonder Woman stuff. Like I loved the Wonder Woman films, so I enjoyed seeing all this stuff on Themyscira with these characters again. It's always great to see the Amazonians in action.
Yeah, I remember when thank you. I remember when this was coming out. My TV production professor was upset when it was released what costumes the Themyscirans were wearing because they were more revealing than they were in Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
So I never talked to her about it, but I'd like to think she probably appreciated the fact that only like 6 Themyscirans actually wear that version of the outfit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here we have King Theoden's death right now going on.
I know your face.
My body is broken.
I go to my father's.
So we could be watching that. We could be watching a good film. Possibly might be coming later this year. Stay tuned for that.
Maybe with a new color correction for the 4K version.
I didn't know this was a function.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
I didn't know it did this. That's
Oh
awesome.
no!
How
Don't do a
come
close up
never
of
used
Steppenwolf's
that?
face. Don't do that.
It would have
Don't
been
do a
so
close up.
convenient at multiple points. Good to
Oh, this is very sad. Someone's dying. We should be sad right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like poke myself in the eyes to like.
Oh God! Can you see that I'm crying? Spit in my eyes.
You want me to do that now?
Give me a minute.
God, it's just this green screen stuff, isn't it? Just going on, like the lighting is just. This is a real question to everyone out there now, and I know you guys are all busy watching this film and suffering along with us, but real question right now, because if something good comes up in this film, I will talk about it and things I like. Is there anything in this version of the film that you guys enjoy? Is it a moment? Is it a, like a scene? Is it a character? Anything with this film? Be generous. Really think outside the box. I'll tell you my favorite scene in the film when we get to it, because I do have one. I think it will probably be better in the Snyder cut. I think it will be given more sort of gravitas and more lead up to it and make more sense in context, but I still enjoy it in this film. The one thing that I'm interested to see how they're going to handle now, and I don't think they will because it wasn't part of the plan at the time, was the fact that Wonder Woman can fly and learns how to fly in Wonder Woman 1984. Well, she didn't have that power in Dawn of Justice, which would have come in very handy at multiple points. So I don't know whether that's going to be something they address. I don't know if... because... So everyone says like the Snyder cut that's coming out tomorrow is going to be the original... The version that it should have been back in 2017 if Snyder had made it all. And it will be to a point, but it's also being made and was made and finished in a time where we had so many other DC films and ideas could change and actors could be brought in who weren't around then, and elements are being added to it now that wouldn't have been around back then. So I think it's quite disingenuous for people saying that the version that we're going to get is going to be the main version. I don't know what's going on JX's right now, so I'm just going to continue this show right now on a solo. Yeah, so it's not going to be that original version. It's going to be sort of an updated initial version. But yeah, we have a comment from Dave who said, Batfleck is the least worst thing in this. I'll agree. It's so sad though. I'm getting, why am I forgetting his name? Poe Dameron, the actor who plays
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac, thank you very much. Similar in episode 9, where he says somehow Palpatine survived, and you can just see the life drain from his eyes as an actor.
Like that when Carrie Fisher started singing in the holiday special. Exactly.
Or when it cuts to Harrison Ford during said song from the holiday special.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, you can see Affleck in every scene of this. Think about this. This guy gets to play Batman. After Christian Bale, this is the new, bombastic charging forward with the new Batman. I mean, that's incredible. And he clearly took that gig knowing, hoping at the time that he would be getting the chance to direct and star in and write his own Batman trilogy following Christopher Nolan's Batman. That's clearly why he signed up for it. And then it was like the House of Cards, right? Just the cards being pulled and the tower collapsing one by one.
Bless you!
He, suddenly he's not writing the next Batman film, but he's directing and starring in it. Then all of a sudden he's not directing it, but he is starring in it. And then, we're getting the Matt Reeves Batman now with Robert Pattinson, and Affleck's out. Is Affleck out? Is he in? I don't know. Apparently he's meant to be coming back for The Flash alongside Michael Keaton Batman. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with that, but...
that really sounds like a perfect setup for Flashpoint.
But as I think at the moment that's going to be his last Batman film. I think after that he's out. I don't think he'll be coming back. And then, of course, there's also the talk of Henry Cavill that he's out now as well. I don't think he's done any advertisement or marketing on his own social medias for this film, for the Snyder Cut. So a comment from George, who I have on good authority to know that has ran out of helmets now, unless he's going to start putting the Star Wars ones on. He also has the Infinity Gauntlet, so I guess he could come in that. Oh God, that was a poor choice of phrase. What I'm intrigued with in Jesus, what I'm intrigued with in Snyder Cut is how they did that. Like during Justice League, you can tell he doesn't want to be a part of it. I wonder if the Snyder version will be better. Yeah, no, absolutely. Batman's my favorite character, so I really hope they do him, if you pardon the pun, more justice in the Snyder Cut than this one. And loads of people were really, bad-mouthing Batfleck when he was cast, and I was actually okay with it from day one. I think he's, tremendous actor. He never used to be. He's grown as an actor, definitely, as a director and writer, but it's just not his fault, It's so frustrating.
In my opinion, he's too old to be Batman in his prime, and he's too young to be Dark Knight Returns Batman.
That's a fair point. This was my favorite scene.
Which, by the way, Dark Knight Returns Batman is probably the same age as Batman Beyond Batman. Not Batman Beyond Batman, but Bruce Wayne and Batman Beyond. Fuck off.
Oh, wait, I thought that scene was longer. Maybe it's later in the film. It's basically that moment, though, that fight. It felt very Lord of the Ringsy, like, let me sit down and tell you these days of yore, and like this big epic climactic battle that took place long ago type thing.
Uh-huh.
I ain't comparing it to, well, just for the sake of in terms of like lore. Here we go. Is this where you get your glimpse of like a Green Lantern in this shot? Because that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
and I know that we're getting more of that in the Snyder Cut. Although, is it Darkseid that does this in the Snyder Cut version?
Apparently. Or Darkseid is the one who does the axe down. And I know that there's, or not Darkseid, he's Uzax or something.
Here we go. Hang on. I think that's it. They don't say Green Lanterns. They just say allies from other worlds. But obviously it's...
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. And that's the and that flies off, doesn't it? That's going to sequel bait, which we're not going to get. Are we still getting a Green Lantern film? I remember that being a thing, and then all of a sudden no one talks about it anymore. I think DC, Warner Brothers just need to get their shit together and know what they're doing.
Okay, honest question. Is it okay if I say something that is kind of a spoiler for the Snyder Cut, but it is public information?
Is it in any of the trailers so far?
No.
I wouldn't go into spoilers then.
Fair enough. Can I text it to you?
Sure. Maybe it will be okay to talk about. I don't know. But yeah, text it me and... Looks like an Iron Man cube. You see that? It's like the red.
No, I didn't, because I'm typing this message to you.
George says text it me. I will send it over to you now, George.
The spoiler?
Yeah. Jax, why don't you give everyone a time update on the thing while I send this over to you?
Well, yeah. Well, if you're following Chris's time, then right now he is at 35:13. If you're following me, I'm a second behind. Deadshot, I agree. Of the Snyder Cut, not
there we go.
This.
Oh, I'm liking that thumbnail, by the way. That's cool.
Of Deadshot?
There needs to be a sequel. Yeah, so I guess, JX, you mentioned something there you wanted to bring up. You didn't know if it was a spoiler. I don't think it is a spoiler. I think it's pretty safe to say.
What's George say?
I'm waiting on George to see the message. I think he'll okay it, though, because we've talked about this on the channel anyway. I'll just kind of tread water until I get the okay from George to see. It's not a spoiler, but people have said that that they do sequel bait in this new Snyder Cut. There are a lot of threads they're setting up that could potentially lead into something else. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if Zack Snyder is done with DC now and is just going to take a step back and be like, I've served my tenure as director of some of the DCEU films, sort of setting it up for what it would become to be. And that's
dude, we're getting to brunch.
Oh, great. Watch me talk over this. This is abysmal. This is just Joss Whedon all over it, isn't it, this scene?
Well, keep an eye on George Ezra because his hair gets smaller when it's.
But like when it was going to be a thing, I remember distinctly that Justice League was going to be a two-parter, and that was the big thing. It was going to be split into two films. Now, I don't know if what we're going to get tomorrow is basically those two films combined into a 4-hour film, or if we were going to get like 2.5, 3-hour, 4-hour films. I'm not sure, but I think the original plan was Steppenwolf in the first movie and then Darkseid in the second movie. I heard like a bunch of rumors that Brainiac was going to be in there in some way, shape, or form in one of these films. Now, recent reports have come out that Snyder wants to make a trilogy. I don't know if he's directly said that or if that's kind of the rumor mill that's kind of put that out and it's fake news, but I don't see him returning. Do you? Like,
that it depends entirely on the success of the Snyder Cut. Give me a second.
But yeah, just picking up what JX said there about it depends on the success of the Snyder Cut. Surely, because it's not going to be put in theaters and it's just going to be on streaming, not saying a lot of people won't watch it. I think sort of like the general cultural, pop culture fan base are very much aware of the Snyder Cut and are going to be checking it out. And I can pretty much guarantee it will be better than this version. But the grand majority of people, if anyone even went to see the original film, I mean, the original film did not perform all particularly well. The budget was 300 million. I don't know if that's taking into consideration marketing. I don't think it would. And then you've got to think of the huge amount of money on reshoots and touching up CGI down to the wire. Warner Brothers were just funneling money into this thing. It ended up making 657 mil, which is, barely any profit. And this is your big team-up movie. This is your Avengers of the DCEU. And it made barely anything. And obviously the response speaks for itself. But for people that did go and see it, the grand majority of people, that was the Justice League that they know. That was the one that got released in cinemas. That is the one that's part of the DCEU. Unless they do a re-release of the Snyder Cut in theaters and go, forget that other one, this is the other one. But I think a lot of people might be confused. I think a lot of people might think that they're watching a sequel to Justice League and be really confused. And not just that, but the shakeup that's been going on in Warner Brothers as well. You've got the actor Ray Fisher sort of naming and shaming everyone during the production of this film, which is all going to come to a head at some point. You've got potentially Cavill and Affleck leaving. So it just seems like the whole thing is in complete disarray. So I don't even know if you could get a sequel or let alone even a trilogy out of this thing at this moment, because I don't even think Warner Brothers know what they're doing. They're gearing up for a Flashpoint film. We've got we've got the two Batmans in that film. Aquaman 2 probably happening at some point. I know they did the DC Expo. And then we've got a completely disconnected Batman trilogy directed by Matt Reeves coming out. So is there even a place on the roster?
Is that disconnected? Films? Because I heard somewhere that was going to be a... I heard that was going to be a prequel to Ben Affleck.
No, I think that was a report maybe at the time, but no, this is going to be fundamentally its own thing. Mm-hmm. Now, whether they're going to try and crowbar it into this whole multiple Earths thing and multiverse things that all these studios seem to be doing at the moment, then maybe. I hope they don't. I hope they just let Matt Reeves make the movie he wants to make. Warner Brothers are like one of the most meddlesome movie studios there are, probably the most actually. You see it with so many of their projects. We have a comment from Deadshot. He says, they have to explain the Nightmare timeline, so the sequel needs to happen. I think that's all going to be crammed into this movie, dude, the Snyder Cut. From what we've seen, I think they're just going to throw everything against the wall and see what sticks.
Needs is a strong word.
Mm-hmm. I think the fact that they set it up so prominently, though, in Batman v Superman, very randomly as well. There was no lead up to that scene. If you don't know your DC Comics or your DC Comics history, you were just like, what? Who's that? The Flash hadn't even been set up at that point. You don't know who that weird Power Ranger guy looking guy is. You don't know what Darkseid is or what the Omega symbol means or any of that. The bell has been rung for Steppenwolf, you know? Dave says, for the amount it cost in reshoots and promotion, it made so little money. Yeah, that's a great point. Let's say that 300 mil was the budget, and then you've got like they usually say you've got to double the budget on marketing as well.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what I was gonna say when I came back. That was it. I was gonna say the marketing budget is usually the same price as the movie budget, and don't call me Shirley. Because you opened with Shirley, but
okay.
Unfortunately, I totally forgot this. So now it's just more of a callback of a potential callback.
Mm-hmm. George says, for comparison, Justice League grossed 30 mil more than Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah. Like,
How did Ant-Man and the Wasp do?
So we've just finished a very tender scene right there between Cyborg and Wonder Woman that I wasn't watching.
I was entirely reshot if you look at the smoke in the background.
I will say it is quite difficult to actually watch a film and do one of these commentaries because no one wants to watch a commentary or watch along on a film of just pure silence and someone watching it. You do that in your own time. I don't know how loud the crunch is on these, by the way, guys, so I apologize if this is really irritating.
Crunch it, let me tell you. It's fine.
I didn't know if I was going to be like one of those annoying people that you always get in a movie theater that are crunching.
It's like half the volume of your voice.
We have a comment. Jamie Willis, evening guys. Anyone watching the Snyder Cut all in one? Yes. So I'm going to bring this up again. While I've got some new people on. I only have the thumbnail actually, so let me just bring that up real quick. So tomorrow morning for me in the UK, I don't know what time it will be. I know that the film is released on Sky Movies in the UK at 8 a.m. I think it's on HBO Max worldwide, everywhere else. So I will be watching it at some point around then. I don't have a final time. The best way actually to find out what time I'm going to be going live tomorrow for that watch along is on our social medias, which I'm going to shamelessly bring up now. If you go onto our Facebook, facebook.com/cinemasavvy or Twitter @cinema_savvy, we post all the times that we go live on there. So I will be going live tomorrow for a watch along on that version. And yes, I will be watching it beginning to end, all 4 hours and 2 minutes of it. Deadshot says, I've already seen the movie. By that, I'm assuming he means the Snyder Cut. Please, no spoilers. I will say that. And, feel free to comment along during the watch along tomorrow. If you tune in, Deadshot, it'd be great to see you come back for that. And,
no spoilers. Hey, Deadshot, text me.
Jamie Willis says, I'm subscribed to you. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Hopefully it'll be a good show tomorrow.
Yeah, if you want to know when that stream will be, I guess you should subscribe and smash that bell icon.
Ding. Yeah, you got it. You know the drill. There's Amber Heard. Oh, okay. Oh, this is...
Is she going to shit on Aquaman's bed?
Dave says, gents, it's been fun, but I'm off to bed. Enjoy the rest of the movie. Dave, thank you very much for getting as far as you did and for rewatching this turd after a couple of days ago. So I appreciate it, man. Have a good night and hopefully see you on the discussion for the Snyder Cut. Jamie Willis says, I'm so pumped for the Snyder Cut. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm pumped for it. I haven't been a big fan of Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman, but I'm more morbidly curious. And that's the reason that I wanted to do this watch along. Not because I wanted to watch Justice League 2017 off my own back, but knowing that I'm going to be watching that alternate version tomorrow, the director's cut, if you will, I like having that frame of comparison. I will enjoy tomorrow watching the film going, oh, they used that scene. Oh, they shifted that scene. Oh, this is a completely new scene. I love stuff like that.
Yes.
George says, I'm bored. Shall I come on? If you want to, dude. Sure. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, dude. I mean, earlier fucking Iron Man was here, and before that fucking Ant-Man. So I will say, if you show up, it's going to be a bit of like a step down from our usual guests. But you know,
we've got a comment from Jamie again saying, "Out of Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, and the Justice League dumpster fire,
I told you they
would
say
you
that.
rate them out of 10?" He's put, "I really do rate Man of Steel," and that's the thing. I know that Man of Steel, probably that was the big film before The Last Jedi came out, right? Where it was completely down the middle. You were either getting death threats because you loved the movie, or you were getting death threats because you hated the movie. There was no in between. So, rating them out of 10. This is actually going to be good, actually, because we're getting George on right now.
wow.
Someone has asked us how we'd rate Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman. Let's say the ultimate cut, and this version of Justice League out of 10. So I'll kick off. Man of Steel. Am I ranking these comparatively as the 3 or as movies in general? Because I feel like my thing would
If it was comparatively, it would be out of 3.
Right. Okay. Right. Just as films, then. Man of Steel, I would give a 5. I'm going to be split down the middle with it. Like, I understand what it was trying to do. It didn't work for me. I think they missed the point of Superman's character. I like the casting in it, but the action was just too out there. BVS, I would give a 3, I guess. Just needlessly long, just convoluted as hell. Nothing in that film made sense. Some potentially cool action scenes here. I like Ben Affleck's Batman, although he kills people left, right, and center. It's just a mess of a film. I think when we did the review, we said it felt like 5 films rolled into one. And this version of Justice League, I mean, it's a fraction of the length. It's 1 hour 50, so it's kind of short. I don't know. It's probably like a 3. I'd probably maybe a 2. I don't know. Probably a 2. I think it's just a bit more of a mess than BVS.
Do you want me to go first, or JX, do you want to go? I feel like I've like shit-stirred this stream into me being on it. I'm not even watching the film. I've got no intention of watching
the lowest, or is 1?
Let's go with 1's kind of half a star, isn't it? Yeah, go with 0. 0 is the bottom.
Okay, so in that case, this gets a 1 because I wouldn't give it the lowest score. Because I've seen movies that would have the lowest score. # Robot in the Family. It's on YouTube. Look it up.
I'm just grabbing something.
Starring Cypher from The Matrix and John Rhys Davies.
What, from Hobbit?
Yeah, well, no, from Lord of the Rings.
Sorry, my bad. I didn't mean that.
Switch those around in the last few days. You need to get your Hobbits and your Lord of the Rings straight.
But anyway, so yeah, this is 1, 2, 3 for Batman v Superman, and 6 for Man of Steel.
Can we just say before we go on?
Well, I just was going to point out our review ranks of Man of Steel are exactly the same as what they were for Man of Steel Remastered.
Mm-hmm. I will say just before we get to George's moment of silence for the fact that J.K. Simmons just beautifully graced our screens for a fraction of a second. That is Gal Gadot's ass. Did you see that shot? That was just Joss Whedon just leering in on Gal Gadot right there. That was that angling. Anyway, George, your ranking out of 10 for the 3 DC.
Yeah. Should I start in reverse?
You just love how he's left Suicide Squad off that list as well.
I would be more than excited to talk about Suicide Squad.
That's Snyder, by the way.
Right. Man of Steel, I'm going to be quite honest. There might be some people offended. I think Superman's one of the most boring characters in existence.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen any of the original 5 or 6.
What the fuck, JX? I thought you liked Superman. You traitor.
No, wait, JX like me. He probably likes Superman after watching Man of Steel.
Boring as shit. His fucking, like, I don't like... He's overpowered, and the fact is his weakness is so goddamn.
89 music. Batman 89 music just played.
Yeah, get rid of it. It shouldn't be in this film.
His weakness is so goddamn impersonal.
Man of Steel, as someone that doesn't like the character, I was shocked how much actually you like the film. I really like Man of Steel. Chris will back me up. I don't really do scores out of 10. Like, I do like the odd letterbox star thing, but that's just out of OCD. I never really believe it because I keep giving the Phantom Menace 5 star. I would Man of Steel. How can I approach it as a film person or as a neutral? I'm gonna slap it with a nice 8.5. So that's Man of Steel.
Oh, sorry. I thought you went on to BVS then. I was like, I don't know you anymore. 8.5? Fucking hell. Okay, no, sorry. Continue.
BVS is tricky because I've only seen it twice. Once was at the cinema at midnight, and the second time was the ultimate cut, like 4 months later. Like whenever that came out, I saw that straight away. I've not seen it since. I would like to rewatch it. That's why I was I'm not put off watching this, but I really wanted to watch Man of Steel and BVS and this. But there's 23 Marvel films in the middle of the marathon, so it's just not possible. I should put a week of work.
Were we meant to include Wonder Woman? I just noticed that Wonder Woman was included in the chat.
If we do the main trilogy, we do the Snyder trilogy, because it's not really counts after tomorrow, then we'll go maybe.
Oh, fuck!
He doesn't want to talk about Wonder Woman. That's what Wonder Woman did to him. I don't know.
Jesus Christ. Jake's just looking like...
that was me coming out the Rise of Skywalker.
No, he's like Leonardo DiCaprio from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like the smoking jacket and everything. Has he got a blender full of margaritas?
I love that he's wearing a Mando top. He is standing Wonder Woman too, after all. It's not got Gina Carano when it has it. Good. Right.
Speaking of Rise of Skywalker, George, let me know what you think of Final Order.
I've not seen any Star Wars since April last year. I'm Star Wars out, which is something I very rarely say. But,
rating for BVS. Come on, let's get through it.
I don't know because I've only seen it the once. The ultimate cut. I'd probably just give it a 6 because I've got no formal opinion on it. There's some bad stuff and there's some good stuff, and I need to rewatch it to give it a fair. So I'll leave it a 6.
Okay.
Justice League. I've started calling it the Justice League. I've become one of them.
Everyone is apparently. I only discovered that today.
I saved it of the thumbnail as Justice League today. That's why I keep calling it. Oh God, what an experience that was! If only I could find the footage of me watching it that I sent to the group chat. Put it this way: if someone had told me in 2013 that I wouldn't be going to the cinema to watch Justice League, I'd have laughed at them. It would have been the J. Jonah Jameson laugh. I've seen it once.
For those who don't know.
Yeah, I've seen it the once. I will never see it again. That's why I'm on the stream and I'm not watching it. Chris, you know me. You know that Chris, you know with me that I like to watch films out of enjoyment. Like I can watch shit films and enjoy them. I go in it with a very neutral aspect of I want to be entertained. So based off that principle, Justice League gets a big fat 0 for being probably one of the worst monstrosities I've ever seen in my life.
We just had one of the greatest lines right there, delivered by Kieran Hines, Steppenwolf. Where is my mother box? You get Kieran Hines to deliver that line. Fucking beautiful. I'm going to go through Jamie's scores for each of the films. He's talking about the composer as well, saying Danny Elfman is a good composer. Wonder Woman soundtrack was epic. I want to get onto that in a second. I'm just going to go through his scores and then we'll talk about the soundtracks. So for Man of Steel, he's a big fan. Clearly, he gives it a 9. As I said, it's completely split down the middle. I know a lot of people love it, a lot of people don't. Here's where we get the drop off. BVS is a 2. I can see that, and Justice League is a 3.5. I actually might concede that. Actually, I think I would much rather watch this over Batman versus Superman. I think Batman versus Superman, although is a complete convoluted mess, pretty much just as much as this film, in all honesty, down to its plot. I think that just because the brevity of this, I think that it's clearly just a mess and you can kind of go into it with that attitude. I feel like Batman versus Superman thinks it's this lofty, grandiose 3-hour epic, and it really isn't. There's a scene where Batman clocks Superman over the head with a toilet sink, like a sink or something. Like that's all you need to know. But let's talk the soundtracks then real quick, because we had like about 5-10 minutes ago, we had the 1989. Oh, it's playing right now, actually, I think. The 1989 Batman theme that Danny Elfman did. So there was obviously the whole set to where...
Go use the bathroom.
That's cool. There was the whole set to where you had Junkie XL, who was sort of let go from this film, I guess, sacked, whatever you want to call it. So all those pre-existing themes, mostly just for Batman, because Hans Zimmer quite rightly said, I've recently scored a trilogy of Batman films. That was my artistic vision. That was my interpretation of that character in music. I can't redo it for an entire score. Drafted in Junkie XL. And I actually really loved his take on the Batman theme. was very different, but it felt very much in keeping in Zack Snyder's world. And you get Danny Elfman in, who seems to be the soundtrack guy. And this is why I'm worried for Doctor Strange soundtrack. He seems to be the guy you just draft in at the last minute, like, we need a score for this. Like, you have Ron Howard as the equivalent of that for directors. You have Danny Elfman for that for composers. So, you know, he was there for Avengers 2. We both say that we weren't a fan of the soundtrack for Age of Ultron. So hopefully he sort of like knocks it out the park with Doctor Strange 2. But the fact that he reuses the music from the Tim Burton Batman films in this, among my favorite superhero themes of all time, if not my second favorite after John Williams' Superman theme, which also gets used in this. Can you get any more hubris than that? Like, he's going, oh, this was my Batman theme, I'm going to reuse that one. Like, and just like visually, and from like a listening standpoint, a theme that was made in '89 for a completely different adaptation of the Batman character from back then isn't going to work in 2017 with these visuals and this very much more darker and bleaker and more visceral style on the character. It completely misguided decision. I don't know why he thought that was an appropriate idea.
Yeah, soundtrack. Sorry, I'm going to be like an arsehole and bring some stuff up on the screen. The reason I was leaning over was going to the vinyl shelf. Chris, you know me, people that might not. Hans Zimmer is my favorite composer by a million miles. I've seen him live, 4 or 5 times now. I'm going to pick out 2 of my nice vinyls that I fucking love. Man of Steel, BVS. Now, BVS, actually, I'm going to switch my BVS range to 6.5. They can have extra half point for Hans Zimmer. This is one of my favorite soundtracks. I got this on vinyl last year. They did limited edition. I think it's red. 2000 made translucent red vinyl. One of the first vinyls I bought when I got into it was this one, which is, I think it's blue and red on each LP. One for Batman, one for Superman. The scores to these films have been the highlight of the DCEU. I don't mean that's disrespectful to Zack Snyder. I think him bringing on Hans Zimmer was one of the smartest choices he could have made as a composer in 2013. You've got one classic John Williams theme. You cannot copy that. You cannot do another theme. It needs to be something so far from that. It can set up something new. And that's what I think Hans Zimmer with the drums. Junkie XL did help with Man of Steel. I think it was very much he's a part of Hans Zimmer's crew. And then when it came to BVS, exactly what you said, he's done Batman. Best way to do it, hand it over. You know, Hans obviously did the Wonder Woman theme in that. He did the Lex Luthor theme in that. And of course, he did Superman stuff. And Junkie XL came in with the Batman stuff, which I love as well. I know it's not really a theme as such. There's a suite. But I loved what they were doing with Batman. The Beautiful Lie. I mean, that sounds like Zimmer through and through. But the score is so good in it. And that's why even pre-Justice League, obviously everything happened with Zack Snyder and his daughter is obviously a massive tragedy. And there's so much stuff going on. Getting into like not even hype, when everything was just kicking off, that, you know, even before his daughter passed away, there were rumors about issues on set. And it's what he said recently, you know, he's lost a relative. And why is he going to sit there and try and edit a film, fight a studio on stuff? And I think he did the right thing in stepping away. But getting rid of Junkie XL, who is probably, to me, I'm looking forward to his score more than the film tomorrow. I really like Junkie XL. His Mad Max score is incredible. I think he's really good. And for what the DCEU has been, I don't mean this is an insult with the collateral damage, but the kind of like destruction stuff and the big bombastic drums and all that stuff, the soundtracks work so much better. So I'm really looking forward to hearing that. I'm going to try and watch it tomorrow night. I can't guarantee anything at the moment, but the soundtracks is when I watched Justice League for the first time, I didn't mind. I mean, obviously Nolan's Batman is my Batman. It's like James Bond at this point. Everyone's got their Batman. When the 89 theme came on, it's just this ridiculous juxtaposition. And I don't mean this is an insult. I like YouTube videos when people be like, you know, imagine what this would sound like. And I was joking to you earlier, weren't we? Imagine if you put the Portals music on Bug's Life when all the ants stand up to fight Kevin Spacey. You know, it's a YouTube experiment. It shouldn't happen in a $300 million blockbuster film. You know, to bring in Elfman and him be like, no, we're using the Batman 89 score. To me, it's not going to affect my opinion of Batman on 1989. But I just sit there thinking, what the fuck, man? Like, why would you allow your...
Just came in as you said that.
Why would you allow your theme, your iconic theme, to be played on a shit show?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is why? Like, if you were... Oh my God, I forgot his name, not Michael Keaton. Christ, who directed it? Oh, Tim Burton. If you were Tim Burton, you'd be like, bro, what the hell? Like, why would you betray me like that and play that? And I just, for the guy that refused to use the Avengers theme as well,
Yeah.
you know, but he wants to reuse Batman. It's just, I'm Junkie XL. I've got faith in him to bring it home. But yeah, that's the soundtrack's theme. Listen, even the Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman film had a great soundtrack. I like that. The second one, not so much. I don't know. I love the soundtracks. You know, you can't top it. Driving on the motorway, big loud noises. Obviously, the Tenet soundtrack's the go-to at the moment. But Junkie XL scores are that adrenaline pumping, good when you're at the gym, stuff like that.
So we've just got to 1 hour, 1 minute, and 40 seconds. This is probably one of the biggest Joss Whedon.
There's another fucking hour of this.
You signed up for this, my friend. You're on this till the end.
Wait,
We've
it's
got
an hour and
the
50.
Russian family, where we focus on this one family, which can be a good thing in a film. You know, you want that sort of like emotional attachment to the action, but it just felt so crowbarred in. You can tell these are reshoots. They're just thrown in there for some kind of like emotional empathy, which you don't have because you don't care about this family. Why should you care? You don't care about the situation. And like, I know I'm sort of watching this film on this commentary in drips and drabs because, you know, you got to do the talking as well. But what are the stakes of this? Why should I give a shit? And maybe with, you know, like an extra 2 hours in Snyder's cut, maybe they'll set that up a little bit more and we'll appreciate the gravitas of the situation a little bit more. But I don't want to harp on the Marvel comparison because I know it'll piss off a lot of DC fanboys. But when you set up a narrative over 20 plus films, the ending is going to mean something if you do it right. And they did it right. And this, you're getting to your Infinity War and Endgame in your third movie with no setup, no prior setup, maybe like baseline setup at the end of BVS.
Yeah, it's one of the really tricky ones. I think we spoke recently about this. It'd be like if you took the MCU to 23 films, it'd be like film 1 is like Iron Man 1, then you've got Civil War, and then you've got Endgame, and it's like how have you built up to that? And it just, and I don't mean this is not Zack Snyder because I do like his films and I like him as a director. I think he was just trying to do way too much, way too soon, and maybe that's not completely on him. There's also Warner Brothers, who are clearly the biggest issue with DC. You know, the owners of it are the problem. They don't know how to handle the franchise. I mean, if you really strip it down to its origins, right? And I'm not going to sit here and say this should have happened, that should have happened, but Man of Steel is perfect as a standalone film. You know, it sets up a character. He has an arc, his origin. Fine. Then Batman needs his own film. You can have old Batman, but you need to establish that Batman to then come into Batman versus Superman with a bit of a trail. Then in Batman versus Superman, the fact that you're juggling Doomsday, which should be a Superman film by itself, the fact that you're then juggling Batman versus Superman is another thing, and then the fact you've got fucking Lex Luthor pulling the strings in the background,
And
who is
throwing
an
in the
outright
Justice League and Wonder Woman and
the email attached, and that's the problem. They're trying to merge them, and the problem is that Civil War has shown. Sorry to bring up Marvel again, but you can introduce characters in a 2.5 hour film, and you can have them have story arcs in it. Unfortunately, none of them doing that, and you know it's a mess. And I don't think it's all Zack Snyder. I think a lot of it is Warner Brothers.
yeah, I think that's sort of like the butt of it.
Can I just point out, like the whole Russian family thing was thrown in there so the audience would believe that the ending had stakes.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be a more impressive achievement if they give us an extra 2 hours of footage and we don't feel the ending has stakes?
Well, that's what I think is going to happen tomorrow. We'll find out. I don't want to harp on it too much because, you know, I can be a Debbie Downer, especially going into these DC films. It's fun sometimes, but I hope there's something. But with Zack Snyder, for me, when he does visuals, he can do visuals great. Like his films, most of the times look great. There's loads of scenes where you can just pause and go, that's a fantastic shot right there. One of the ones that sticks out to me in, I guess it was sort of chasing after that comic book front cover of The Dark Knight Returns, where Batman's sort of like perched on the side of the building with a grappling gun. You've got the blue lightning that strikes. It's like a split-second shot. Beautiful. Love that stuff. Zack Snyder is very good at adapting either previously written stuff or previously visualized stuff. Go to 300, pretty much
Or
verbatim
all of the above.
comic book and visually. Watchmen is almost page for page identical from the comic book and from those panels. So he's very good at that stuff. He's good at sort of like the visualizing stuff. It's just down to the writing. And that's what I'm worried about, because does he have sole writing credit on the Snyder Cut, or did someone help him?
That's actually what I was thinking in my head, because I know the EVS was co-written with that did Argo and Rise of Skywalker.
Chris Terrio, wasn't it? Chris Terrio wrote it with Joss Whedon.
The Chris Terrio thing for me is clearly he was Ben Affleck's mate, and he was clearly on that to help his mate and to then set up a Batman film.
Yeah,
and we'll know how wrong that's all gone. So I would imagine Snyder's written the whole thing himself. I think, again, not to bring up Nolan as a fanboy, but you can tell that Nolan had guidance and impact on Man of Steel. Very much the going for that darker, grittier, grounded Superman, which again I've got no issue with. Yeah, and obviously those two are very close outside of filmmaking. They're good friends. I think the interview recently said that his wife Deborah Snyder, who obviously was a producer, her and Christopher Nolan were at the original Joss Whedon screening, and they both came out and said that, Zack, do not ever watch this film. It's that bad. And to be fair to Nolan, obviously I'm not going to get him involved because we don't know what it's like, but this is a guy that obviously triumphed cinema, and we know right now, as of last year, with all the HBO Max crap, he is obviously going to be leaving Warner Brothers after 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that, not that what fact he wants his friend, but here there's Cinema Massacre on screen. And I think a lot of people, let's say, on a hypothetical reason, the film's not good. I don't want it to sound horrible, but at least it's Zack Snyder's vision that's being put out there. It's not a studio massacre, which is exactly what this is. And, Joss Whedon did the Avengers. He made them popular. Let's bring him in. It's like, Marvel moved on before you even hired Joss Whedon, because they had the Russo brothers. And it's every problem is Warner Brothers playing catch up to Marvel.
Yeah.
And, credit where credit's due to Marvel. They built this world. They took their time, they had patience. Warner Brothers were reactive, as they always were, demanded the universe, probably realized, shit, we've just let Bruce Wayne retire as Batman, we've just lost Christopher Nolan, and we're setting up a standalone Superman film. That's all the year that the bloody Avengers 1 comes out. It grosses 1.5 billion, which no one saw coming. And that's exactly what they ended up doing.
Mm-hmm.
They could have used the Nolan trilogy as a jumping off point.
I think they would have. I think had Christopher Nolan been desperate and Christian Bale and both took the $15 million they were offered, I think it would have been that. I'm glad it wasn't. At the time, I really wanted it. But I sort of sit here thinking, look at the mess that became. Probably the best thing for their careers was for them both to say no and not get involved.
Do you guys remember seeing that edited picture together where it was Batman from the interrogation scene from Dark Knight sitting opposite the table from Henry Cavill's Superman when he's in that interrogation room?
Yeah,
and the two just matched. I mean, that's down to the aesthetic, isn't it? And clearly, like Nolan's involvement with that first movie as well. I mean, it would have been an effective Batman setup, and you could have just drafted him in. But seeing where it all went, I'm kind of glad that that's its own thing. But it's unavoidable to see the visual comparisons between the two.
Can I just point out the fact that you can kind of tell the difference between the reshoots and the new footage, the reshoots and the Snyder footage, because the camera doesn't move at all.
Yeah,
in the reshoots.
I'm going to go to one of the comments here. We're sort of backtracking through a lot of comments, so we'll try and get through these a bit quick. I'll start with you on this one, JX. We've got a comment from Deadshot who says, I'm confused. Is the 2017 Justice League canon, and where is the DCEU going like? Will there be sequels to Snyder's Cut, and is the Snyderverse happening? I know that you follow the animated films, and they have their own established canon, so is canon important to you with these films? Would you like to see them continue after the Snyderverse, or do you think that it's too late now and they should just sort of keep it as it was and move on?
So Snyder Cut will not be canon in the context of everything in the DCU that has already happened, because it wasn't made with that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
but he's like, this is my version. This is what it was going to be in 2017, so fuck it. Like I said, if there's going to be more Snyderverse stuff, that is going to depend entirely on an influx of HBO Max subscriptions this month. As well as how many people suddenly cancel their subscriptions this month.
That's the other thing.
I think as well, like Warner Brothers have funneled a lot of money into this, and I don't know if this is all sort of off Zack Snyder's back and said, like, look, I want to get this done, because they've already pissed away a lot of money on this film, like 300 mil budget, and I mean, look what this thing looks like. It's terrible. And I can't remember how many more millions. I think it's like 70 mil, 80 mil, maybe even more than that. They've like funneled into this new version of Zack Snyder's to get it out there. Would they, I mean, they're putting their money where their mouth is. Do you think they expect an investment on this thing and to continue it, that people want to see it?
I mean, in reference to both mine and George's second favorite Star Wars movie, maybe.
Second best.
Second best, yeah. I agree. Second best, kind of probably my favorite.
You guys are insane. Absolute insane. Second best. New
Should we just 180 this stream into a Last Jedi? No, I'm joking. Not tonight.
I'm not doing a Last Jedi watch along. I rue the day
I'll put that up on this screen. George, you want to get that queued up?
It's past midnight. Like, I can't get into an argument because I'll wake the whole family up.
You and I both know if you turned it on right now, you wouldn't stop until you finished it.
No, I would. I would get tired eventually. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It would be 2:30 by the time it was done. That movie's long.
What I would do is probably 3 a.m. here it finishes. I would probably pause it just before the Snoke's death, so that tomorrow I could then get a good hour in, like, whoa, peak Star Wars.
When you say just before Snoke's death, do you mean right as soon as he says "fulfill your destiny," or like a little bit before that?
No, not cliffhanger. Can't be dealing with that. It's not a one. It'll be like WandaVision, wouldn't it? Like, you know, in the very episode, it was there like stand by. That would be like Snoke saying "fulfill your destiny." No, it'd be the elevator when they go into the elevator together.
Yeah, it was either gonna be that or the elevator.
So we've got the standoff with Superman now at the top of the staircase.
You mean the pure visualization of how fucking useless the Justice League is?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Actually, there is a moment coming up. There is a moment coming up here, which I will defend this film on, was actually really good and probably got the biggest reaction out of the audience for the whole 5 people that were there when I saw this film.
Is it the music?
No, it's the bit where the Flash is running up and Superman turns to see him, where they have that kind of rivalry there with who's the fastest. I quite like that.
And then the music?
And then the music?
The Superman 77.
Do they play it in this scene? I thought it doesn't come in till the end.
No. It's when he's fighting the Flash.
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought it was when he punches Steppenwolf at the end.
Well, let us be quiet. Oh, George, quiet. Let us be quiet. I'm not saying you specifically, but like you can't hear it, so you won't know what's happening. So you specifically, but like when it happened, when he's like the Flash is doing stuff, you know what I'm saying? I've had like 4 beers this stream.
I've got no idea what's going
on. We've got
5.
Oh, Superman's looking very angry, and Gal Gadot trying to act, and he's laser beaming Cyborg, and Cyborg is deflecting it, and it's all very dramatic and awesome. While that's going on, Seaworld Man says, "Chris, do Last Jedi watch along for 300 subs just for a number. You must suffer just a little." I don't know what you mean by that, but I don't know if in good consciousness I could do a watch along with The Last Jedi. I don't know if I have the strength.
Does he mean 2,300 subs?
just for a number.
Just watch along for 2.
I'm very confused. I mean, if you're going to do it, you do it at 2,000, right?
We don't need 300 more subs, but we'd like them.
Unless, wait, SeaWorld Man, is that a reference to a Jim Carrey movie?
Guys, for you guys at home, not to betray you once more, but our Falcon and Winter Soldier video is now scheduled for 4 p.m. tomorrow. So So 4 p.m. on the channel, it will be straight up for you guys, completely spoiler free, pre-recorded. So do check that out if you want. Sorry, I was kidding Tom while I uploaded it all.
I think we're about to get the
Oh, here we go. Yeah,
The
it's the
Superman
slow-mo running, and the
Is this when Ben Affleck looks down and says, "Somehow Superman's returned"?
doesn't Batman just get like fucked into a car and he's out of the fight in this scene? Has that happened already?
Not yet, no. Hang on.
He's not present
Just
during the
listen
fight.
to the music
There you
here.
go. Da, 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 da. Yeah. Why? Like, that's my favorite piece of music ever. Like, John Williams' Superman theme is fucking incredible and synonymous with that character. For that interpretation of Superman, and maybe the animated stuff too, but not for this. Not when you've got like a pre-established theme. It's just mad. Speaking of Superman, I'm just going to rattle through the last few comments that we need to get through. Jamie Willis says, I got the Man of Steel art book when I won it in a competition, and it's still in mint condition. This is going back to that Russian family. He says, I wonder if that family will be in the Snyder cut. I think it was more of a filler. I think they'll be gone. I don't think they'll be in there at all. What will be interesting, though, if this is, we're talking about stakes here, the backlash that we got from the collateral damage at the end of Man of Steel, which they really kind of like hammered home in Batman versus Superman. It's like, we are on this deserted industrial estate. There are no people around. Just to confirm to the audience, there are no people around. Like, would they do that for Justice League? If you have no people around, then there's no one to save, so the stakes are less. But if you have people around and knowing what kind of action Zack Snyder does, you know, he's not exactly unrestrained with it. Is it going to be another bombastic ending?
In defense of what happened with the no people around in Batman v Superman, Batman did choose that battlefield.
Yeah, that's true. But he does
And
kill people in that. So if they went with a Batman that doesn't kill people, that would have made more sense. But
yeah, but his decision to kill Superman is based off of having been in Metropolis during the end of Man of Steel.
Let's see. We've got a few more. Jane Worse again says, Warner Brothers are an absolute joke with the DCEU. This is what makes Marvel work, so they put so many films before Infinity War and Endgame. Yeah, absolutely. Sums it up that, you know, compare the two. And I know that people get pissed off when you constantly compare between that, but Warner Brothers are trying to compare themselves to Marvel. This is why these films exist and the course that they've gone. Completely reactionary, every single movie.
Are y'all hearing the banging?
No,
I can't hear anything.
Okay.
I can see Guy Gallop's face
That's
poking his
bugging me.
Has anyone got a minute? Are you on an important scene? Can I talk about Warner Brothers for a minute? That's a bit
Batman's
bigger than
just fucked on the grass right now. Go
He
on.
bleeds.
right. So if you rewind the clocks back to sort of 2010, 11 time, you've got to look at Warner Brothers in this thing. They've dominated the noughties. They've had Harry Potter across the entire decade, and they've grossed a shit ton of money. They've had Superman, you know, not work out for them, but very much franchises. They had Lord of the Rings at the start of the decade. They were bringing back The Hobbit. They had the Dark Knight trilogy, be the humongous success it was. Trilogy, not world, trilogy. Warner Brothers had all these big franchises doing really well. And then you get to 2012 and the penny drops. Oh, Batman's finishing this year. Harry Potter finished last year. The Hobbit is only 2 films. All this stuff is building and building over many years that Warner Brothers didn't have a plan for after their franchises were finishing. And at the same time, you have Disney turning up the dial to 100 of here is this thing called The Avengers. Here is Pixar. Here is just buying Star Wars and loads of other stuff. And what makes it fascinating is that Warner Brothers' reaction to this wasn't let's prepare, let's see what we can do. It was let's make the Hobbit a trilogy. Let's get the Harry Potter spin-off done.
Mm-hmm.
Let's turn Man of Steel into a franchise because we now need the Justice League straight away. Not eventually. We need them right now and we can't wait any longer. Everything Warner Brothers did that led to the failures of these is this. Again, not picking on Zack Snyder. He is not somebody that can create a universe. And the reason why is that he is a director. It is not the job of a director to create a cinematic universe. It is the job of a very very skilled, hands-on producer. That is the key. Kevin Feige is the key to everything for Marvel. You cannot produce this world and be Corley directing 3 of the films in it. You can't boom around that world for it. You need to have somebody in, and bringing in Jeff Johns, who, I'm not talking about allegations right now, but in 2011, he created the New 52. He made Justice League popular again. He had a very successful comic run. And not bringing in Jeff Johns to create the world was the biggest mistake they made. Now, of course, test of time. He's one of the reasons Justice League's become what it was. He's obviously got a lot of issues, which I hope he gets exposed for, so I'm not defending him from that point of view. Warner Brothers got everything possibly wrong. And the sad thing about the Snyder stuff is that they asked Nolan first. They didn't pick Snyder because they wanted him to do it. They picked Snyder because he was already working on a Superman film. Had it have been very different circumstances, we could be in a very, very good DC mindset, but unfortunately we're not. So yeah, everything stems with Warner Brothers, and it's bigger than DC. It's why Fantastic Beasts has failed. It's why The Hobbit failed. Mm-hmm. Everything was immediately, we need it now. It was never, let's sit back and naturally build up to it. That I'd even go one step further. They are very fucking lucky that Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter worked. That's a conversation.
The thing is, I don't think Warner Brothers was involved with the Lord of the Rings at the time because it was New Line Cinema, and then I think they bought New Line Cinema after the fact of the Lord of the Rings. So technically, they own it now, but at the time they had no affiliation with that. That was just New Line Cinema. I don't think it was a subsidiary of Warner Brothers at the time. I think didn't they sort of like go down the toilet financially, and then Warner Brothers swooped in and bought them up? Same with MGM, I think.
Yeah, it would have been very similar to that. I think you are right, yeah.
So just to confirm, we had a comment from Collins World who says, does anyone know what time it releases? Just to clarify, because I put some false information in the comments. For the UK, it's actually 7:01 a.m. It's going to go up. It's going to be on Sky Cinema, not Sky Movies, Sky Cinema. And internationally, it's HBO Max. And the equivalent of those times. I've got the times here, actually. So let me just bring this up real quick. It's 3:01 a.m. ET and 12:01 a.m. PT. They're all the times.
Sorry, Sky Cinema is Sky Movies, though, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Okay, I don't have Sky. I didn't know if it was a separate channel.
If people don't want to have Sky, if you don't have Sky, Now TV, get yourself a 1-week entertainment pass or a film pass, and you can just have it for that. Oh, Chris, we're bringing this one up. I'm sorry.
So, not really a spoiler here, but how much would Joker's appearance in the nightmare scene will make an impact going forward with the death of Jason Todd? I think I've heard that they're going to refer to the death of Jason Todd in this film, in Zack Snyder's Justice League. One of the many story threads that film's going to have to juggle for its mammoth runtime of 4 hours. For better or worse, it was set up in BVS. We see the old Robin costume there with the Joker graffiti on it. I can't remember what it said, like "you let him die" or "ha ha ha" or something. So within this trilogy, at least that's going to be sort of tied up. But I mean, I hope we don't have a future Jason Todd. They've thrown so many ideas out there. I think I've heard that there's like been a Nightwing film in development for about 10 years now, probably since like Dark Knight Rises, actually, with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I was all talking like, oh, he's coming back for Nightwing. I honestly don't know where they're going to go forward with this thing. We've got a Flash movie, a Green Lantern movie seems to be in complete stasis. I really don't know what's going on. We thought they had it in the bag at that I was going to say D23, that DC Expo thing they had, which we covered on the channel. We went over all the news, but I don't even think they know. I think this is just, Zack Snyder seems to love his comic book references and throw as much stuff in there as possible. If it just ends with like a sort of confrontation of, I'm actually looking forward to seeing Affleck play against Jared Leto's Joker. I wasn't a fan of Leto's Joker for all of like the 10 to 15 minutes that we got of him in Suicide Squad. But I think one of the deciding factors, because I remember when I reviewed that film, I said that I don't feel like I've seen enough of him to pass a proper judgment. What will be neat tomorrow when we see that nightmare sequence is that we're actually getting to see this universe's incarnation of Batman and Joker have a conversation, maybe even go toe-to-toe. I don't know. I always think that's really important to see how those two characters work off each other because it's that beautiful dynamic. So, and the two just seem so fundamentally different. Like, I don't know if Jared Leto is gonna have toned it down, if it's gonna be a different direction with, different writer, different director.
Hey, we live in a society.
Yeah. Oh, apparently that's not in the film though. Apparently that was just for the trailer. But
okay.
Is he going to be the handsome honker Joker from the Suicide Squad, or is he going to be a brand new Joker? I don't know. But I hope it doesn't amount to anything else, because Affleck wants out. He clearly wants out. It's so evident that he wants out, and I just don't think you can continue that, to be honest.
He just wants out of roles where he has to work out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, no offense, but honestly, just let him be fat. It's clearly what he wants. And you know what? That's okay.
The Joker stuff is... See, the thing with Jared Leto is that he is a meme now, right? I think he is a good actor, but his fucking
Mr. Nobody.
ego... I have seen Mr. Nobody, and I didn't like that much. I'm not gonna lie.
I love that movie. Although I love movies that do multiple timelines complicated like that.
But again, he's one of them where like people like working with him. I know that he is the method actor and stuff, but there is a good actor in there. He's won an Oscar, but it just became this self-aware meme. I think that Jared Leto had damage tattooed on his forehead, and was he sending used condoms to someone on set? Like,
yeah,
it's a good thing he didn't have any STDs, because that would have been a fucking palaver. But I just think it's
that looks like. So I'm sorry to interrupt, George, but that effect looks like fucking Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah, the Ego, the Living Planet stuff. Yeah.
You were saying.
That's a good segue, actually, George. When's Guardians of the Galaxy 2? Oh no, that's pre-recording. Ignore me. We're so far.
No, I can tell you when. Saturday, the 3rd of April, is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 discussion. So be sure to check that out on Saturday, the 3rd of April. Easter weekend, which I didn't even realize, which means I'm going to be able to catch up on a shit ton of films.
And a fair of sorrow to all of you.
With Jared Leto, I think I would have liked to have seen him as the Joker. He had the chin. That's the big thing for me, the chin. I think he had the ability. However, and I'll say this about David, I like David Ayer. Got it wrong. It wasn't Warner Brothers that destroyed that Joker. It was David Ayer. The moment he released that photo that said damaged on his forehead. Why didn't Warner Brothers step in the moment they saw that photo? Yeah. That's my question. They step in on a lot of minor shit. I bet if it was black, they'd have stepped in and made sure that didn't happen. But yeah, it's
this is very Arkham right here. Just going back to this quickly. So this is like Batman's Batcave, I guess. It's under the water, and the jet comes out of the water. I think there's a thing like that in Arkham Origins where he sort of drives along the water, or the water separates and he goes down underneath. Even the Batmobile. I know this was sort of stemmed from BVS, but it's very much going after that aesthetic, I think, of the Arkham games. So Steppenwolf's doing something villainous at the moment. There's purple shit growing out of everything, and we've got the Justice League now who are going to stop it. I don't know what's going on.
So, guys, I'm just editing up the channel for you guys at home. If you're new to our channel, like DC, I've just updated our channel homepage, so you should see a playlist with underneath the Infinity Saga stuff. It's going to say the lockdown movie commentaries, because every recent commentary has been under lockdown. That's going to have tonight's video on. That's going to have Chris's video tomorrow. It's got Chris's first time watch along to Wonder Woman 2, and a load of other commentaries we did last year. So if you like commentaries, discussions, check them out, just in case there's any that fancy. But a couple of DC ones on there, and that list will be updated across the year. The more Warner Brothers stuff we know we get at home.
Jamie Willis.
Yep.
It wasn't Jason Todd.
Oh, he wasn't it?
It's Dick Grayson. And I knocked my headphones out. Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
No, because Dick Grayson's Nightwing at this point, right?
No, he's dead. Died in 2003. There's a grave in Batman v Superman.
Oh, is there? Oh, wow. Okay, I missed that. Okay,
it might not be in Batman v Superman, but like somebody like took a picture from the set of the grave thing where they did all the Martha Kent shit. or Thomas and Martha Kent shit. And there's one for Dick
Why did you
Grayson
say the
that dies in
name?
2003.
Maybe it should be a grave for Robin Blake.
Wait,
I
sorry,
can
what was
sleep
that, George?
tonight.
Why did you say the name, Martha?
Warner Brothers confirmed it apparently.
But in the while Warner Brothers confirmed it because they didn't fucking Snyder has
care.
come out and said like they got it wrong, and so for the Snyder cut, it's gonna be Grayson.
Look at that. That's your team up shot right there. All of your people just like walking out of this ship and that. And there's no fanfare. There's nothing. You know, when the Avengers team up, you get that 360 shot in the first Avengers film. Dun, 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 and it's like, yes, fuck yes, we finally got it. Look at this shit. Look at this red filter that's going on right now. Look how visually pleasing this is right now. It's so bad.
God damn it.
But yes, on the subject of subscribing and following, Jamie, I believe you subscribed to our channel earlier. Thank you very much for that. Hopefully, hopefully I get to see you on the stream tomorrow for the Snyder Cut. While you're at it, go give JX a follow as well. The details are coming along the bottom. That's youtube.com/JXEditor, who is joining us tonight. Give a follow because I guarantee me and you are probably going to have some very interesting discussions on the repercussions of director's cuts coming out and directors being able to tell their true visions and comparisons between the two. We're probably going to cover something on his channel at some point. We haven't even discussed this, but it's probably going to happen. So
it's a very fair assumption. It's like, especially considering the sheer difference in the footage and how that's going to affect edits. Like, how many edits do you think are going to be 4:3 now?
Oh my god, yeah. Actually, that's going to be a problem. If people are going to mash footage from this version with the new version, that 4:3 thing is going to fuck a lot of things up.
You're either going to need to remove
half the frame
from one of them.
or do.
Although I will say that shot right there, it seemed like most of the details was on the left side.
Oh, I think they played the Batman music here as well.
Wow. I have an energy drink now because my girlfriend has an early shift, and so I'm usually going to bed around this hour.
Wait, you guys go this time. What time zone are you in again? Are you 4 hours behind us?
Yeah, today I am, as of now, I'm 4 hours behind because of daylight savings. I'm usually 5 hours behind.
You go to bed at 9 p.m.
Usually during the week, just because my girlfriend gets up at 1.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Jamie has now followed you, JX, so you have a new subscriber.
Jamie, let us. That was how we thanked you with the sneeze. Took.
My God.
Look at that. Or is it a mosh pit?
This is why I'm moving.
Jamie, let us know some of your favorite non-DC films, and we'll let you know if we've done reviews on the channel before. I know that's a weird way to advertise ourselves, or just try and like figure you out. I know that's a bit creepy, but franchises, films, whatever, because we've got quite a lot going on. Obviously, we're deep into Marvel. I'm not going to keep going on about that. But yeah, it's been a very interesting time. You know, Disney have released a statement actually in the last hour. Bob Chapek has says that Black Widow is now, quotes, the release could be as late as on the wire, whatever the fuck he means by that.
It means like when it could just drop, like when they get the go ahead, it'll just be out.
I think now cinemas are opened in LA and New York. I think it's 200% coming out in cinemas.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they might do a combination of cinemas plus Premier Access. I would pay 20 quid to watch Black Widow, I won't lie. Only because I worked on it, not because I want to. Which is, I guess, a cheat.
We just got the Aquaman line when he jumps on the Batmobile. Yeah! Like, this is amazing.
Oh, what was one of the lines Ray Fisher spoke about they got rid of? Was it... No, it wasn't. He says a line that people were giving Ray Fisher abuse for saying he hated it. Because of B. I've only seen the film once, I can't remember what he says. I'm a sort of ADG then, it's not Boyakusha.
What the fuck am I watching? What is happening? JX, help me out here. What's actually happening right now? Aquaman's kicking the shit out of parademons, and there's a red filter, and the CGI is terrible, and there's purple shit everywhere for some reason.
So Batman went to distract them and kill himself, and they saved him as like a moment, except there was no musical cue when they like showed up. So it just felt like part of the scene.
What the actual what the hell is this mess?
Dude, I'm telling you, we
Chris?
should have watched Justice League Legion.
Is
Or no,
Aquaman
no, not
surfing
Legion.
on a parademon now? Like, my man. Oh, okay.
If we watch
Chris,
Justice
I
League
believe
Legion,
Jamie Willis is you in disguise.
As a kid, it has to be The Lion King. As a 35 man, I still cry at The Green Mile. Oh my god. Yeah. No, The Green Mile, one of my favorite films, top 10 probably.
but you're not 35.
I'm not 35.
No,
Someone
I'm in-
thought I
in
was
terms of the
actually.
film.
Okay, I'm going to go off a tangent right now. This was before my
Or
28th birthday
34, I guess.
by a
I
week
guess.
or two. So this was earlier this year. I asked someone, how old do you think I am? Bearing in mind, I was like, as I am now, clean shaven. If anything, I should have the baby face.
Wait, what
Someone,
happened to your beard?
Oh, you
How am I
want
just
his
noticing
beard?
this?
yeah.
Can I see it?
It was gone before the stream started. Anyway, different subject. Someone said I look 35. I asked another person. They said 33. Both of those aren't good. So the wrinkles are coming in. I don't know.
The thing is, you're not that even
It's
that old.
the
You're not
Hobbit
28.
edit, dude. That's what's doing this to you.
Hold
It's
on.
all these
You bought it-
delicious
you bought it-
Tyrell sea salted and cider crisps, which are fucking delicious,
You-
by the way.
No,
You
it's
were
all
born in
the
93.
glowing elf blades.
You bought in '93, weren't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, you're 28. I'm 24. Tate's 24. He's a month younger than me, so he gets occupied baby the channel status. Best thing about Tate,
23.
before we all met for the first time in person, remember him asking how tall I was? And I told him I was 5'4". I'm 6'2", so when I got on the train and met him, he was terrified, and he's a lot smaller than I thought he would be. But is that a catfish? I don't know if that counts or not.
I was actually taken aback by how tall you were when I met you at Hans Zimmer. I was like, oh, fucking hell. Just...
I was a bit
George?
thinner around. I was a bit thinner then too.
George, if the three of us are ever in the same room, we should just stand next to each other and shout Last Jedi stuff at Chris.
No.
I thought you were gonna say same country. To be fair, not same room.
I mean, well, here's the thing: if I'm ever in the same country as that guy, I'm probably gonna end up in the same room as him.
Ooh, you should be so lucky.
You wish. Sorry. How many subscribers do you have?
That's a very nice compliment, but I'm going to take the one for SeaWorld Man right now. Not that I was fishing for a compliment, but Chris, you look your age. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. So Steppenwolf's now just fighting everyone. We're at we're at 1 hour 30. Yeah, somehow there's a Justice League movie going on in the background, by the way, guys.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I came on for the DC chat because I was there like these guys like don't want to be watching this. I'd rather just join and then comment.
It's good to have the moral support to get through this. So we're at 1 hour 38 and almost 40 seconds and 40 seconds. There we go.
George, call my phone.
What? I don't have your number.
Yeah, but you have my Facebook.
What the fuck is going on with this film? I'm watching it like, where are the stakes? What is going on in this thing? Like, we've got this
the world, I guess, is at stake.
Oh, he just jazzed Cyborg. I want 2 pieces. Just ripped him in half. That's a Transformers reference, by the way. That's a film that we should do a watch along to at some point because that's a lot of fun.
Which one? I'd do all 3.
First one. Oh no, just the first one. Here we go. The Superman just showed up. Did he show up?
Son of a
No,
bitch.
Batman.
I rang your phone.
This fucker just hung up on me.
Okay, can we talk about the fact that Batman's got a gun? Oh, Superman's just showed up. This is triumphant. Is this the da-da-da when he punches him? I want to hear it. No? I thought he... Oh, okay, maybe not. I'm misremembering it. But the fact that Batman has a gun and that never comes up into like the fabric of the character. Don't you love that thing where Batman just, I think it's actually in Under the Red Hood, the animated film. He holds a gun in his hand. I think that Red Hood throws the gun to Batman and he's just like awkwardly holding it in the palm of his hands like he doesn't know what to do with it. And the fear of obviously his parents getting gunned down comes back to him. And in that moment, he's like so childlike and innocent and emasculated as a hero. In this, he's just got like a fucking machine gun and just sniping everyone. So he doesn't care in this film.
I'm not going to point out the fact that in 1989, It's 1989, right?
Yeah,
He fires live ammunition at the Joker.
yeah, but he doesn't hit him.
He's
He's going for scare tactics. He's trying to make him stand down. It was a game of chicken.
sure. All I'm saying is he uses somebody else's space gun here. He
Maybe.
has his own fucking turrets.
See, everyone always goes to the fucking Michael. I was going to say Michael Caine. Michael Caine as Batman. Could you imagine that? The Michael Keaton comparison.
He kills a lot of people in that.
He killed one confirmed kill at least, which was where he throws the guy down the sewer with the dynamite strapped to his chest. One confirmed kill. Probably did kill a lot more. But
Yeah.
Michael Keaton just pulls it off beautifully. I don't know why. I don't like my Batman killing people, but call it nostalgia, call it what you want. I'm fine with him killing people in those two films. It's cool.
What about, I don't have to kill you, but I have to save you?
Batman technically almost kills. No, not Bane, though. No, that goes to Catwoman. Confirmed kill from Catwoman on that one. But in every film, he straight up murders Harvey Dent. He could have just like grapple gunned like him off the edge and like kept him dangling, but no, he straight up tackles him and breaks his neck.
Also, the spirit of murdering Bane was in there because he was
would have
going to tell him where the trigger was. Then he would have his permission to die.
I love everything about Bane. Sorry, did that can just move by itself? I thought that was like ants or something. You know, Ant-Man, like when the ants start moving the sugar cubes.
So Cyborg and Superman are doing the box right now.
George.
Has anyone watched Superman and Lois?
Jamie says on another matter
about it.
regarding Superman, anyone watch Superman and Lois? I've never realised Tyler Hoechlin. It sounds German. I don't know. As the actor of Clark Kent Superman is the Superman in the Arrowverse. So I knew they were doing a Superman TV show set in that Arrowverse. I've long dropped out of the Arrowverse. I think me and George, we pretty much dropped off it at the same point. I watched Arrow season 1, really enjoyed it. Was very Batman Begins, was very gritty and grounded as everything was at those times. I watched Arrow season 2, loved it even more. And it was when The Flash came into it and you had to start watching multiple TV shows a week, which is where I dropped off it. Since then, they've done, was it Guardians of Tomorrow, Legends of Tomorrow, whatever it's called, Supergirl. I don't know if Batwoman ties into it. You've got Gotham, which again, I don't know if ties into it. But I did hear they were doing a Superman show. I've seen a picture of Tyler in the Superman costume, and it looks absolutely abysmal. But I haven't seen the TV show, so I don't know how accurate it is to the Superman character. If it's any good, what the budget's like. I've seen nothing from it. I don't know if you guys have seen anything from it.
I think I got to the end of season 2 of Flash, and then it was there like, it's obviously like over here in the UK, the biggest issue we have is how awful our TV schedules are. So you're like 3 weeks behind. So I had my own ways of sourcing the episodes legally via VPNs. But however, when I'd get them, I used to have to write them down in schedule. Like you can't just say the Flash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 was like Arrow, Flash, Flash, Arrow, Arrow, Arrow. Like it was the order. And then I remember they used to switch it up at Christmas. So then it was like Flash, Arrow, Flash, Arrow, Flash, Arrow, switch, Arrow, Flash, Arrow, Flash. And it was so much effort.
Yeah.
When Legends of Tomorrow started, I did that for a couple of weeks and I enjoyed it. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not juggling 3 shows. I despise watching shows weekly. That is and this is ironic from the channel that keep doing WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Mandalorian, but when you have to, if they turn around and said that WandaVision was simultaneously in the same timeline as Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki, and you have to watch all 3 in the correct days, I'm sorry, I'm out. Even in Marvel, I'd be out. And I've really enjoyed Flash. I really thought it was a great series. I see photos. I heard Supergirl was good. I heard Batwoman was abysmal. I heard Gotham got better, but I can't take that shit seriously. I tried the first 2 episodes. Gotham team was like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think everyone tuned in at the start, and then after a couple of weeks, they got bored, and the ones that were loyal stayed and enjoyed it, and fair play to them, but it's a hard sell. I don't think DC's ever going to make the jump to expensive TV either. I think it's that sort of CW, is it the CW verse they call it, don't they? Mm-hmm. It's that like not low budget, but they're not in a position to warrant high budget TV shows because they can't even get their films right. So it's a tricky one with TV. I would like to see. I don't even know what DC shows I'd want to see. In absolute truth, I'm sure there are characters out there. I've really enjoyed Shazam. I don't want a Shazam show, but the DCE, there are a hell of a lot of mistakes, but there is some good stuff. But the good stuff don't get speaking about.
I know it's technically not DCEU, but I know that they're gearing up for that. I guess it's sort of like another Gotham TV show, isn't it? Not the same Gotham, but the one that's tying in with the Matt Reeves
The
Batman.
police. That I'm excited for. I'm very excited for that because that's about the police's perspective with Batman new to the world. So it's like a crime drama. I'm in. Don't even sound anything. I was going to say something, but I've forgotten about DC. I can't remember. It was a really good point. Sad times.
We're just winding up on the film now. It's kind of going through like the final montage.
It's almost done.
We did just see like one
That
of the
might
final
be that is a reshoot.
Yeah. I guess that would have been teeing up for the Flash. Maybe it still is. Who knows? But we just had our final sort of shot of all of them in costume. And I don't know if it's the lighting. I don't know if it's the effects or what it is. How cheap do the costumes look in this? I've seen people with better cosplays at Comic-Con, in all honesty.
Exactly my point. What I was to say, Ezra Miller. No, is that Ezra? Yeah, it's Ezra Miller.
Yeah,
isn't
Ezra
it?
Miller.
I always get a mix of Ezra from Rebels. He rocked up in the Flash, didn't he?
Yes, yeah, the crossover.
He had his Flash suit next to the TV one, and the TV one looked cheap because it is, but the film one still looks shit because the design's shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Grant Gustin, maybe it's a blessing he wasn't in this, but man, he deserved a shot being Flash on the big screen.
Jamie says, anyone seen the Harley Quinn animated show? I know it's more of a jokey version of DC Comics, and I found it okay at times. So I haven't watched it actually. One of my best friends actually has been on the channel before. He's done some DC reactions with me, Dale, if anyone remembers him. He's watched it. He really enjoys it. I know that it has its fan base. It seems like, I'm not going to say too juvenile, but it seems like one of those shows where, now I'm clearly not opposed to swearing. I swear all the fucking time. But it feels like one of those things, where they just crowbar it in an effort to be adult and edgy, and it feels kind of disingenuous. That's what it feels like from what I've seen from the trailer. It looks like they've tried to purposely make it adult just for the sake of it. It doesn't feel like it inherently needs to be. But I have heard it's very good. I have heard it's very funny. So no, I haven't seen it. But it is on the list, the list that I always talk about. It's on the back burner, which I'll get around to at some point.
I've heard good stuff about it. I know that show's been really well. I think it's been reprised for a season 2 or 3, but it's got that character in that we're going to get in Suicide Squad this year, the Shark Man, King Shark, isn't it? Is that his name? Yeah. That I am looking forward to. The Suicide Squad by James Gunn is probably one of my most anticipated films of the year, in absolute truth. I know it's a different conversation. I know it's technically part of the DCEU. Let it be its own thing. It is going to be ridiculous. We're going to get Polka Dot Man.
148, not even 150.
Yeah.
How long's left on the film?
It's finished. Yeah. We're at the credits.
Oh.
148.
Yeah, I'm going to be like that meme from Simpsons, like, well, my work is done. It's like, you didn't do anything. I'll be like, oh, didn't I? And just like flies away.
Do you want to know the depressing thing, though, with saying that?
He wouldn't even be halfway through.
Yeah. Doesn't that just put it in perspective? Christ, help me. What am I going to do tomorrow? That's my morning tomorrow. I'm going to be watching that. Like, in less than 24 hours, I'm going to be watching 6 hours. Oh, we've got a credit scene. I forgot. Is this the first?
Oh, right. There are 2 credit scenes.
Is there another credit scene after this?
Yep.
Is there?
Is it Superman's smile?
No, it's Legion of Doom preview.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah.
And that's a shot from a normal scene that was in Zack Snyder's cut ages ago.
I think so, yeah. With again the Halloween costume Deathstroke in there.
This is the thing, like Joe I can't even say Manganiello, whatever it is. Flash Thompson. When they cast him as Deathstroke, I kind of see it. I saw the first one as Deathstroke, and they're like, "What the fuck went here?" Yeah, the guy's ripped as fuck. Why couldn't they just let him wear an eye patch and be normal? But they've given him like grey hair and shit, and they're like, "But why?"
I was gonna say Wade Wilson. That's Deadpool, isn't it? What's his name? It's something
Deathstroke.
Wilson. Deathstroke's character, I can't remember, but he does have grey hair in the comics.
What do you think Rotten Tomatoes score Psychic's going to be? Okay, this is fascinating. It's on 77%, I believe. Slade Wilson, sorry.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, Deadpool was a play on him, wasn't it? On Deathstroke.
So, if you've heard of Dan Murrell, Jamie, he did the most amazing deep dive in December to the Wonder Woman reviews. He spent like a day or two researching amazing video. He basically analysed the Rotten Tomatoes and how it was unprecedented that film that was rated fresh dropped to rotten. And he basically went through the hundreds of reviews, filtered it, did his research, looked at their previous DC film reviews and everything. Amazing video. Basically, the outcome of that is that Warner Brothers were very, very selective of who they allowed to see Wonder Woman originally at launch, because at that time in England, we had our cinemas open very briefly in some parts of the country, and they did screenings in person. So on day one, you had unruly positive reviews, very much genre-focused websites with the big ones. Then the next wave were like, average-sized websites, and the rest of them were just the rest of the Rotten Tomatoes stuff. And I had this amazing come down. Now, I'm not going to say I want to see that. However, Rotten Tomatoes is always it's the ultimate. If it works in your favor, you say it. If it doesn't, you don't. I don't know. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm surprised the score's so high, but I expect it to drop down. Not because the film. Every film drops down on Rotten Tomatoes. I think Finding Nemo went from 100% to 99%, which is just ridiculous. I think this is going to probably sit in the late 60s, early 70s. And what I think, being polite, I'm not saying this is you or anyone else, there will be a lot of critics that do not want the hassle that may come with leaving a bad review. I'm not going to say that's going to taint their thoughts on it, but based off reactions that I've seen already, and also their opinion of this film is very much going to be, how is this rate as a standalone film? It is not going to be that discussion. The reviews are going to be, is this better than Joss Whedon's attempt at a Justice League film? Mm-hmm. And I think as Christian spoke earlier, it's going to be better. If it's bad, it's bad, but it won't be as bad as what this is. Yeah. And I think that politely nudges that score up ever so slightly. I would like it to be good, but I'm in absolute truth, the trailer did nothing for me. But I didn't see the new trailer, which was apparently the best one. It
was the best trailer. It was the one that was most functional. We just had Come Together, which is the greatest song ever recorded about group sex. Now we're into conventional orchestra music now. We're almost at the end of it. Just really quickly from Jamie here. Do you think it'll only be the coloured version? I heard HBO Max will have the grade version, as Zack loved this version. I hope it's not the black and white version. I really hope it's the coloured version.
I know there are both.
Because, I mean, all the posters for this thing have been grayed out, haven't they? Like, hell, like, I'm going to bring it up again, the thumbnail for tomorrow. Those are, like, the main posters. That is the theatrical poster for Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, I mean, Christ alive, he's achieved final form, hasn't he? Like, you had the desaturated as shit Man of Steel, probably equally as desaturated Batman versus Superman, and now, boom, he's just cranked that slider all the way to the left, and we've got full-on black and white version.
I think Warner Brothers intervened after Man of Steel because Batman v Superman is colored like an actual movie.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Because I know in Man of Tomorrow, Man of Steel had to be color corrected.
Yeah.
I think what we're going to get a trilogy box set at some point this year. It's going to be Man of Steel, BVS, which is getting re-released next week, I think. In 4K, and it's got the IMAX, not Square, an actual IMAX theatrical window. I reckon he'll do a box set with that and his Justice League, and I think they'll put the option on of Justice League black and white, because I know Parasite's done it, Logan's done it, Mad Max has done it. I think it'll just be an extra disc, in truth.
I've never seen the first about black and white versions, actually. Like, most films, maybe it's sort of like a modern day thing where I don't think it can work for most modern movies, but take Mad Max, for example. One of the most visually stunning, colourful, vibrant films ever, and it works to that film's advantage. I can't even imagine watching that film in black and white and it having anywhere near the same impact from a visual standpoint. Like Logan as well. Beautiful Western, vibes to it, like the sand and everything like that. What does black and white actually achieve? Unless it's done in a stylized way like Sin City, where the comic book is inherently black and white and it's done in that way, then fair enough. But you also have the vibrant colors which offset that black and white within the frames of the film as well. But I don't want to see a black and white Justice League. I mean, it's probably going to already be like almost incomprehensible anyway when it comes to the action scenes, let alone it being in black and white.
One movie oddly compelling in black and white, Pulp Fiction.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I don't know
I
what
can
it
see that.
was,
Suits.
but like I saw it in black and white once, and I was like, "This is really good." And I don't think it's the whiskey talking. It might have been the whiskey talking.
I mean, Jamie's mentioned Logan. I remember that was the big one. I don't know if that was before Mad Max, but it was the
that
original.
black and white?
They did it eventually.
I believe
all
that.
the
That makes
posters.
sense.
All the posters were black and white. I remember that, and all the original photos. And I don't think the trailer was black and white, but you could see it. Mad Max, I don't get. Parasite, I've not seen. Apparently, people love Parasite in black and white. Again, I mean, the film's a stunning film. Yeah, like, but it's got so much color in it, and I'd be intrigued to see it. I think because I'm going to watch those samurai films after Marvel. And I'm not going to say I'm on a black and white hype because it sounds stupid. If I'm going to actually try and watch one, it will be after watching like 5 of them in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what you said, Chris, the stylizations that, you take Synersis, for example. That's a film you shot in black and white because he said, it makes it timeless. It makes it like it's from the era and it won't age badly. And
you have the girl in the red coat, which offsets the rest of it,
Exactly.
done from an artistic standpoint.
And I think it's a conscious decision that affects the it's like a time capsule. And I just don't see that with all these modern films randomly choosing to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone's like, "Oh, we're going to colorize in," I don't know, let's say Rashomon. But why? Like, why do you need to colorize the old film for? I know that some films do it, but it's just strange ways.
I think we're almost gearing up for the final.
Still the fucking credits.
Still the credits. We're at the Animal Humane and all like the logos, like the Dolby Atmos and IMAX logos at the bottom. So we're almost at the end now.
Is it
that weird circle one?
Joker?
That weird like globe one. You know the one I mean? The oval shaped one.
Is it the Joker on a speedboat with Rick Ross?
I remember seeing this film in the cinema and I thought, well, it's a comic book film. Like, I don't think DC they're sort of hit and miss with their post-credit scene as to whether there is one or not. And it got
my God, I forgot about the beginning of the scene. It's so fucking stupid.
Oh, he's switched the bald guy in the prison cell, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing that he didn't turn around at all, right? Like,
yeah, fucking A.
Like, how long was he in there for?
Nando V Movies did a rewrite of this where like this was Clayface, and I was like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's a yeah. How did you have him like morph into Clayface though?
I'll let Andy Serkis to play Clayface.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh my God. That's yeah. That's a great idea.
I just thought many years ago. And then they didn't cast him as the Penguin and said he's now Alfred.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here we go. Here's Deathstroke. So I remember seeing that. When it's in low light, I was like, that costume's fucking awesome. And I can't remember how long after Arkham Origins this came out, but everyone was kind of on that Deathstroke hype, I remember at the time. And then I saw Lex Luthor, and I was like, I remember why I hate these films now. But there, when it's in lighting, it looks awful. I think it does a close-up in a second, like the mask.
My brother had a theory about how he got cast as Lex Luthor.
How? Go.
A lot of people were saying it should be the guy from Breaking Bad. And
everyone
one
was
of the producers was like, "Oh God, what's that guy's name again? Jesse Heisenberg."
I believe it. But do you remember when like Warner Brothers had to sort of like cover their own asses, where everyone was like, as Lex Luthor, oh no, this is Lex Luthor Jr. We need to make a point of that. Like the real Lex Luthor could be out there somewhere. Fuck, it's like the Mandarin, isn't it? Just like, oh, the real Mandarin's still out there somewhere.
Did you guys see the most? You know me, Chris. I'm not massive on like fan edits and stuff. I remember the most incredible fan-made trailer for Batman vs Superman. And it was the Bryan Cranston. It was the Bryan Cranston as Lex Luthor. And I remember watching that. I was like, this is going to be a thing, right? And it never was. And, let's take Godzilla 2014. Best thing in it's Bryan Cranston by a country mile.
Do you know who made it?
What Godzilla?
No, the trailer.
No idea. I'm afraid it was a long time ago. You're gonna say it's you, aren't you?
No. I was wondering if it was Alex Luthor.
I
Well,
honestly can't remember who made it. If it's still out there, then yeah. If it's still, I don't know if it's still going to be like the top of the searches, but yeah, that was kind of when I was into that.
His channel was deleted.
That's how I kind of like got into editing, because I remember Dark Knight Rises, especially, or like Batman 3 before that came out. You'd rush on there, or like Spider-Man 3 or Spider-Man 4 or whatever. You'd always like watch those fan made trailers. You know they were fan made. You know they weren't official, but it whet your appetite for the actual film. So it was all great. We have finished the film now, by the way. The film has concluded, so we're just chatting now. We don't know how much longer we're going. We're currently at 1:30 a.m. I need to get up bright-eyed, bushy-tailed for more Justice League in the morning, so we probably better round it off in a second. But I guess final thoughts on this version of Justice League and initial impressions before going into the new one.
I'm going to offer my opinion that I didn't rewatch it, and that will sum up my opinion of that film. And I'm curious. I'm curious with the Zack Snyder one.
Jax?
So I think my feelings towards both this, the Snyder version, and all of that summed up with this meme I saw the other day. I do not remember who said it, but I'm putting it here. And hopefully,
yeah. As I mentioned earlier, though, I think the aspect ratios are going to play living hell with all the fan edits that are going to come out from this thing, and probably the filters as well. But
that's
for JX. Let me just bring that up real quick. Do you have Twitter, JX?
I am at JXEditor, but I don't really use it. That's why it's not here.
I guess YouTube and Discord.
They don't even let me log into it anymore. So yeah, no, don't follow it.
Oh wow, okay.
Just follow ours instead. Shameless plug.
Nice.
I respect that.
At cinema_savvy there. We can do the socials, quick blast. But for me, this film's terrible. It is relatively brief. It feels longer than 1:48, though. It really does. But it's just a Frankenstein's monster of a film, isn't it? It's very much like a Suicide Squad as well. That film's probably more watchable than this one. Thoughts going into the Snyder Cut? I think it's great that he's finally not his original vision. We do need to keep stressing that, but I think it's great that he is finally getting the chance to sort of put a full stop after his DC trilogy, for better or worse. And as I said, like, I'm not a big fan of Man of Steel, even less of a fan of BVS. So going into this one, I really don't care about these incarnations of these characters, but just from a standpoint of a director getting to tell their vision and what they wanted to do, seeing their film kind of pulled apart and everything couldn't have been easy for him, but to finally come back to it and sort of finish it strong. Whether it will continue into sequels, that's up for debate, and I don't even think Warner Brothers know at this point. But I think that's kind of cool. And I'm trying to think of some like other instances. Maybe this is going to be a discussion for the video tomorrow, so I actually have something to talk about for 4 hours. But I guess I'll just pitch it here and then follow it up tomorrow about how many times has this happened? Because this isn't like a regular occurrence about a director getting a second chance to tell their version of the story. I think the director of this latest Pinocchio live action film, this is his second attempt at a live action Pinocchio film to himself. So maybe that's the only other example that I can think of. But I think it's interesting. You get like Ridley Scott's final cut of Blade Runner. You get his ultimate cut of Kingdom of Heaven. You get the Lord of the Rings extended. It was always intended to be extended. They had to cut it down for theaters. But in terms of like a complete do-over, this is probably the first film that sticks out in my mind as anything like that. But yeah, okay. I guess that.
Sorry, I don't have much thought on this. What I will say is that I believe this may be the last film Joss Whedon technically was involved in for quite a long time. So it'll be very interesting to see what other stories come out. I'm not saying we want gossip, but there are some truths out there. Walter Hamada's got questions that are only going to unfortunately to get answers. Jeff Johns is being protected very nicely. I might sign out with the A over E thing that that's been on Twitter. So accountability over entertainment, and there was no entertainment from this film.
Just definitely with Joss Whedon, we will watch his career with great interest over the next coming weeks. I don't know when reports are coming out, but they will come. The truth will come out, and it will be very interesting to see what happens. Finally, I just want to say a big. Oh, sorry, Jax, you got something to say?
Just throw out there. You were saying like earlier, you just wanted to say that it wasn't Zack Snyder's original vision. I will throw out there that from what I've heard, it is, except for the Joker scene.
Oh, okay.
And probably any VFX shortcuts they've taken.
Here's the thing, we'll never know. JX, you made a great point, actually. The last thing I'll throw out before we round off, you mentioned, was the 4:3 aspect ratio a decision to cut costs on visual effects? Maybe?
Yeah,
I don't know.
You don't have to render... Hang on, wait.
Lengthways. Widescreen, yeah.
You don't have to... You don't have to render this if you're doing 4:3, and it's probably going to cut render time in half.
You got to fit more in the screen.
No, because if you actually look at like the comparison videos on YouTube, like the Justice League versus Snyder Cut trailers, they've cut the edges off.
I'm lost. Sorry.
It's way too late to think about aspect ratios. I guess I can kind of see what you're saying. We'll never know. We'll never know where Zack Snyder's original vision begins and ends with the film that we'll get tomorrow. But we are getting it in a matter of hours. So again, those times for people in the UK, that's 7:01 a.m. The film will be available on Sky Cinema. And you can find the conversion of the other times. I can't remember what they are now. So again, a big thank you to, well, I guess to George for jumping on as well, and to JX for taking over 2 hours of your very valuable time to join me in this quest to watch the Justice League. I do appreciate it, because I know it was a very last minute thing, me asking you on.
Don't forget the time of Iron Man and Ant-Man.
Yeah, I was actually going to say I was going to thank Tony Stark and Paul Rudd for rocking up tonight.
Yes,
really appreciate that.
I like how you don't know his name either. You went with the action.
Oh, it's Scott Lang. It's Scott Lang, but let's be honest, it's Paul Rudd.
I mean, we've never seen them in the same room, have we? So they're out there. But and again, a huge.
Who'd have thought? It's that me. Who'd have thought? Not me.
And a massive thank you to everyone that has. I'm actually surprised we had as many people as we did commenting along tonight. I didn't expect we'd get this amount of people. So you guys are absolute troopers for jumping on and hearing us prattle on for over 2 hours about Justice League and other such things surrounding the DCEU. We hope to see some of you on tomorrow morning. As I said, I don't know the times yet. It will entirely depend, number one, when I get up, and number two, when I can get a hold of a copy of Zack Snyder's Justice League. So the best way to follow us is on all of our social medias. So once again, quick blast through them. Cinema Savvy is Facebook. Twitter is at cinema_savvy. You can find us on Letterboxd, where tomorrow we will have crossed off Zack Snyder's Justice League and indeed this film as well. That's letterboxd.com/cinemasavvy. And if you'd like to pick up any merch, there's the TeePublic link in the description down below. You can pick up some t-shirts on there and other such things. Really, really quickly, one final blast for JX. Where can people find you? What kind of stuff do you do? What you got going on your YouTube?
YouTube.com/JXEditor. You can also, if you use Discord, find me at JXEditor 6096. It's, I'm on a number of fan editing servers. On YouTube, I am a fan editor. I edit movies for one reason or another. And I've done some things that I said at the beginning of this that I am a little too drunk, tired, and yet at the same time hyper to say at the same time right now.
That's fine. That's fine. We can round off.
If you want an awkward description of what I do, jump back to the beginning of this.
Awesome. Right, that'll do it for us, guys. Away to bed we go, and we'll hopefully see you on Zack Snyder's Justice League tomorrow.